So we'll have a short delay, and racing will begin as soon as possible. This will be a long day here with all of the heats, the preliminaries, and some of the other qualifying round in both the individual and team events. Tentatively, the day is expected to end at around 6:39 p.m. And again, we're seconds away from the start of the action here at the ISU Short Track World Tour, live from Montreal. De légers délais techniques dans la production télévisuelle de l'événement cause quelques retards en début de journée. On est en train de débuter la compétition le plus rapidement possible. Once again, we have some initial technical issues on the production, stream and TV production of the competition, causing some delay early on. We'll try to fix these issues shortly, and then we can proceed with the first heat. In the men 1500 meters, we'll have at that time 7 skaters on track. We'll have a set of 8 races in this division, and then we'll have our first ice resurfacing break of the day before we move on with the preliminaries in both the women and men 500 meter. So while we're waiting to begin the action, I remind you that the chief referee for this weekend's competition is Mr. Michel Dubon. The assistant referees on ice, Albert Scheim and Tilo Michel. The assistant referee video have 2 assistant referees, Sarah Anderson and Dan Fioranza Jr. Starter for the men, Artur Kozlovsky, and for the women, Gilbert Bozicevic. Peter Stewart, Claire Lobert, and Peter Bruckle. And the referee liaison, Caroline Truchon. we're still waiting for the start of this ISU Short Track World Tour. Some technical issues early on with the production of the event. Try to get back on track as soon as we can. Donc léger délai technique encore une fois dans la production de l'événement au niveau télévisuel et de la web diffusion. On espère pouvoir débuter l'action le plus rapidement possible et on ira à ce moment avec la première de 8 vagues de qualification chez les messieurs sur la distance de 1500 mètres. So official announcement for all coaches, team leaders, athletes. We will begin the day at 9:30 a.m. So we will be resuming the action at 9:30 a.m. Donc on va débuter les courses à compter de 9h30. Donc, rapport officiel annoncé va débuter l'action à compter de 9h30. Once again, English racing will begin at 9:30 a.m. So once again, due to some technical issues with the production of the event, we'll be starting the action at 9:30 a.m. with heat number 1 of the men 1500 meter. Donc on va plutôt débuter l'action à compter de 9h30. Léger délai étant donné les enjeux techniques avec la production de l'événement. On espère pouvoir débuter à l'heure ajustée de 9h30. Merci. So we're ready to proceed with the first race of the weekend at the ISU Short Track World Tour. Heat number 1 of the men, 1500 meters. On passe à l'action. Première course de la fin de semaine de compétition. Circuit mondial, courte piste 2024-2025. Première de 8 vagues de qualification chez les messieurs. Again, in these heats, the first and second place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 6 fastest third place skaters qualify for the quarterfinals.
Roll to the start. Red.
And we're off for this first race of the weekend. The ISU Short Track World Tour is back at the Maurice Richard Arena. Heat number 1 of the men, 1500 meters. 7 skaters on the ice. From the Netherlands, representing the Dutch Lions, number 16, Friso Emmons. Representing the New Zealand Ice Keys, Joshua Kapp, number 87. Representing the German Wolves, Ben Jones, number 83 from the Hungarian Falcons. Ogradi Benson, number 123. From the Australian Racing Rouge, Lucas Wareham, wearing number 106. From the British Royal, Wesley Yates, number 116, and finally from the Turkish Anatolian Cars, number 141, Murat Tatasi. 7 skaters on track, the first and second place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 6 fastest third place skaters qualify. For the quarterfinals, 8 laps to go in this race, led so far by Friso Emmons. The Dutch leading the way here in this first race of the weekend. Pour l'instant, c'est patineur représentant les Lions néerlandais qui mènent le bal, dépassé peut-être dans les prochains instants. On verra, on est au coude à coude entre le néerlandais et le britannique. Representing the British Royals, now in 4th place is Wesley Yates, now in 3rd, moving from 4th to 3rd. The race is still led by Friso Emmons. 3.5 laps remaining. The speed is picked up. Emmons is still in the lead. Emmons representing the Dutch Lions. From Tilburg, will be skating at home later this season at World Tour number 5. The speed is picked up once again. On apporte la cadence dans le peloton. En deuxième place pour le moment, Nogadi Benson, l'autre droite, alors que le Turc Murat Tatasi s'amène au 3e rang. We're entering the final turn. Emmons, Nogadi, and Tatasi first, second, and third. Skating from the front was Friso Emmons from the Dutch Lions in this heat number 1. We'll see the official results coming up shortly. Again, the qualifiers here, the first and second place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 6 fastest third place skaters qualify for.
Doesn't happen too often anyway.
Ben
Jung was one of the skaters in that race. I was keeping my eye on. I was after the last weekend, he was skating quite strong, so it's a little surprised not to see him in the top 3 there. And, maybe a bit more of a sprint specialist than the 1500 meters.
There behind Tatachi.
Second, Nogadi Benson, and 8 qualify by time.
Something to keep in mind too is that the top 20 skaters from last weekend in the 1500 meter event are not in these early heats. They're pre-qualified.
So moving right into the second heat. If my memory serves me correctly, we did not have any skaters from Chinese Taipei here last weekend. Well, they're here today, including one in this heat. And there's a look at the results list. Emonza Nogradi through Tatachi to wait. Running through heat number 2, Yerkebulan Shamukanov of the Kazakh Nomads, Wara Van Dam of the Belgian Ice Bears, Tariq Omaragic of Bosnia-Herzegovina, Theo Collins of the British Royals, Kwok Fung of the Hong Kong Ice Chilins, Mark Chismadia of the Falcons, and Lai Tsai Huan Chen of Chinese Taipei. Getting everybody in their right spots on the line. Very crowded line. And there's one going to be on the second row there. 7 skaters in this 13.5 lap race.
Le départ est donné pour cette deuxième vague, une série de 8 messieurs sur la distance de 1500 mètres.
You'll notice that not everybody has the new identities. So Tariq Omaragic, skater from Bosnia there, 26-year-old from Sarajevo. He's maybe one day. It's not there yet. It's just Bosnia-Herzegovina for now. It really is their team here. We've talked quite often about teams training together. He's done some with the French team in their base in Font-Romeu near the Catalonia region, right up there in the Pyrenees. The best result for him last year was the 16th in a 1,000-meter World Cup stop last season in Dresden. But yeah, we've spoken about how they train together, and there's some mutual benefit, even though you're essentially training with your rivals.
It goes a long way for smaller countries to be able to join up with other training programs, because short track is a sport you really need training partners to work with, right? All of the racing is direct interaction with other skaters, and long track you can get away with skating independently. However, in short track, in order to practice passing, track patterns, you need to have other skaters to work with. So it really goes a long way, and I think it's great that these programs allow smaller countries to join in their training and help move them along and progress in their skating.
And we even mentioned on the days before competition, when teams get out on the ice, teams are essentially skating together, where they group some together, and you'll see when they're working on their accelerations or what have you, there's a long train of a couple different nationalities.
Again, some nice teamwork. We see, the feet are up.
My.
That was an unfortunate incident. We hope the athletes are okay here.
I think the blades stayed away from everybody. We'll get back to the racing here. Wara Van Dam of the Ice Bears is on the front. First, Theo Collins went down. Then Omaragic went down, and that also took out Chismadia. I think everybody's blades stayed away from parts of the anatomy.
I hope Chismadia just gets checked out here, because we did see some blade contact into the upper body region there, but he's moving around like he's all right. The cut-resistant suits that these skaters are wearing have really come a long way, and they're very integral to the safety of the athletes. It scares me to think back to when the early 2000s we were skating without cut-resistant suits. And now it seems crazy that we even did that. So lots to review there. That race kind of blew up quickly, and I was mostly concerned about the safety of the skaters there, and lost track of what happened at the finish. I'm not sure if you saw it, Kevin.
Van Dam won, and it was Shamukanov coming in second. We do get a review of the race here, so we'll get another look of those moments. But yeah, my first instinct was that Collins sort of went down on his own at the front.
Yeah, he clash skates, I think. Where is it going to come here? That's so tight together. Let's see, watch the feet.
He was on his own when he went down. This might be it here.
Oh yeah, so he loses his edge.
And then Omaragic goes down there into the back of Van Dam.
Okay, so it's Omaragic maybe clips the toe of his blade on Van Dam's skates, which pops him up.
And then Chismadia, just a bystander. But they're all getting off on their own. We see Chismadia there, seems to be okay. We actually, as ironic as it is, we actually spoke yesterday about the mats that will air on Sunday, about the safety that's done here. But we keep the entertainment, but the safety measures are really, as you mentioned, increased over the years.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday when reviewing the mats, but it wasn't so long ago that we would just have mats placed in front of boards, right? That would not go anywhere. There was no relief, so the impacts were far greater, and skaters would bounce out to the ice. And these mats just do a terrific job of absorbing the impact, and I'm sure you guys get into that more.
Yeah, that'll be part of our Sunday World Tour broadcast. You see the review going underway. They are still at video board number 1, speaking to that review room. And they'll get every vantage point. You can almost see which angle they're looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, Omeragic gets his feet up there, which is really what you want to do before hitting the mats, but he did it quite early in the straightaway there, and unfortunately there was some additional contact made. I'm just relieved to see all the skaters are fine, because sometimes those can go very different direction. And that's part of the excitement of short track, is there's a danger element to it.
And there you have it. No discipline meted out. Omeragic did not finish. Van Dam, Shemakinov 1-2, and Lai now waits, moving right along to the next heat. Already on the line. We'll go through things once they get going.
Go to the start. To the start. Ready.
Safely away. Heat number 3. And we have another Hungarian Falcon skater coming out of position 1. It's Balázs Bontovics, Lujan Shuo of the Hong Kong Ice Chilins, Jonas Hammermuller of the Wolves, Lucas McDonald of the Ice Kias, Ivan Donchev. Our first look at a Bulgarian king today. Frey Van Dam, another Ice Bear, one we did not see last weekend, and Lin Chun Che of Chinese Taipei on the front right now.
Yeah, great to see some new faces out here this weekend in Montreal. I'm sure there was some travel adjustments made to be here, but fantastic that everyone could get out.
Tempo's up in this race just a little bit. You know, it's always the big mystery. Are they going for that third place time, or are they just battling for 1-2?
Well, watch Lu Zhanzhu here on the outside. He had a great weekend last weekend. He's very adept at passing. He's making his way on the outside. And then the highest ranked skater, Bontovics, sitting in the back right now. We'll keep an eye on him as well.
And it is Lu Zhanzhuo on the front right now. Turning on the jets now. Inviting someone to try to pass him, but he's got such a speed up that he's making it difficult. There is a gap now after Van Dam.
Yeah, he's really pushing the pace here. Nice to see. Trying to spread out the field a little bit with 5 laps to go. Getting clear of the pack here. We're separating the top 3.
Lou still out in front. He has a clear advantage now.
Lou is really showing his form to blow up the pack like this all on your own.
Barring any unforeseen drama, this is his race to lose. 2 laps to go. Van Dam trying to close it back up. And at the bell, Lu Zhanzhuo comfortably in charge. He's looking like he might close in on lapping the Chinese Taipei skater. Van Dam clearly in second now, but nice win for Lou.
Jonas Hammermuller making that nice pass in the third and the last lap. This was a quicker race, so that time could have an impact on his advancement.
2:22.34. How does that compare?
It's the second fastest qualifying time we've seen thus far.
Faster than heat number 2.
So if you don't have the heats page up right now, we have 8 heats here, and we're taking 6 fastest thirds, and of course that will include advancements.
Of course, those will repeat throughout the year. Advancements sort of muck up the qualifications when there are those time spaces. Those are the first to go. And he's not wearing it right now, but I did see my first of the new Ice Chillins kit this weekend. So
Okay.
they are in the process of arriving. Not all the teams have them just yet, but I did see one. So they might make their debut at some point over the course of this weekend.
And of course, you'll often hear us talking about these advancement positions, you know, which placements and then which additional advancements there are. It's integral to the race strategy and the tactics of athletes in their races, knowing what those are. So those heavily play into the strategy, because obviously your job is to make it through to the next round. And sometimes it's a matter of managing your energy expenditure over the course of the weekend, knowing, okay, what do I need to do to qualify to get through this 1500? I'm guaranteed if I'm first or second, I'm in. So you know what? If I'm comfortable in second place, I'm not going to take any risks. It's a long weekend ahead. I'm going to conserve energy. I'm going to do the minimum required to get through without risking it, of course.
Heat number 4. The rest of the heats now have 6 skaters, so less space, or a little more space there on the ice. Felix Roussel of the Canadian Ice Maples, our first look at an ice maple this weekend. Robin Bendig of the Wolves. Matsubayashi Yui, our first look at a Japanese ninja. Oleg Hande, Yang Chen Rui of the Ice Chillins, and Michał Niewinski, maybe more a sprint specialist, but these are all about those Crystal Globe points.
Go to the start. Right.
Oleg Hande got in plenty of work last weekend through qualifiers in repêchages, just about every distance, and then he did make some of the bigger races, and so we'll see what's left in the tank this weekend for the Ukrainian Wildcat. And Niewinski, a medal in the 1,000 last weekend, known for maybe more as brunt power. So I imagine in a 1500 he's sitting at the front to really slow things down.
Yeah, he's wanting to control the pace a little bit here. Doesn't want to get too aggressive too quickly, because he knows he has the power and the speed to finish this race. And as you mentioned, great performance in the 1,000 meter last weekend. So if you can kind of chip away slowly at the front here and not pushing the pace too much, it's going to start to play into his hands really well. But they also know this is one of the strongest fields we've seen of these heats, between Hande, Nowinski, and Felix Roussel. This is a strong top 3, and of course you can't leave out Matsubayashi, another strong skater. So this is a bit of a stacked heat here. Couple, Felix Roussel, another skater capable of World Cup medals. So keep an eye on these guys, because we're going to have an action-packed finish to this race.
A little bit of a bump there. Interesting to see, for those going to the Crystal Globe, what times they go into an event that's not their strong suit. So Niewinski, don't think he did a 1500 last weekend, choosing to do one this weekend.
Yes, looking to claim those overall points. Coming up, 5 laps to go here. Here's the,
It's a collision between Matsubayashi and Roussel. Both of them going down. It will be reviewed. That plays into the hands of Niewinski, to be sure. Down to 4 there.
Yeah, that when you take out 2 of the top skaters, that really opens things up for the remaining 4 skaters here. They're still battling because those positions are available, but it's been a slower race, so you really want to be 1 and 2 here.
Niewinski and Hande. And 2 laps to go, and now there is an open gap, and it seems fate is smiling on Michał Niewinski today. Slowed it down for as long as he could, and then he let some of the skaters behind him get into an incident, and that allows him very comfortable, and then on one skate almost fell face forward.
Just relax for a split second there, right? And you might catch a little, a rut in the ice to throw you off. We're going to have to look at a review.
Yeah, it's Matsubayashi and Roussel. Really, just as the action was starting to pick up, they went down. It wasn't at really top speed, but it was at some speed that they hit those boards.
Yeah, so we're going to be reviewing that inside pass by Matsubayashi, possible lane change infringement there, and potentially we could see an advancement for Felix Roussel as he was just holding his line, but we will wait for the official results. But we have gotten information that that's what they will be reviewing. Quick jump out by Felix Roussel. Felix Roussel is actually quite a tall short track speed skater. He's over 6 feet tall, but incredibly agile.
Here's the incident right there. Watch the body language of the Japanese coach. The head drops when that happens.
Yeah, that's one where the pace was starting to pick up, not too aggressive, and you don't want to make, at that point in the race, an unnecessarily move that could get you into trouble, which is a little bit what Matsubayashi did. It just wasn't, we'll wait for the review, but things were tight there, probably unnecessarily. Could have been avoided going on the outside when the pace is a little bit slower.
So Nowinski of the Polish Hussars, quite overjoyed last week, landing on the podium in the 1,000 with Robert Kruzbergs of the Latvian Golden Stars. Let's see if an announcement is coming. They were down at video board number 2. We'll throw it down to the ice.
After a review, we give a penalty for number 55 from Japan, and we advance skater number 5 from Canada.
And there you have it. Matsubayashi does indeed get punished, with Roussel being advanced, and so there goes one of those third place spots.
Matsubayashi, Hewitt, and the skater from the Canadian ice table.
Moving on, make sure to finish the race. Now, if they don't finish, if he just decides to say, well, I'm part of an incident, I'm scared, here, we'll actually get another look at it here first. Outside to in. To go. And so if a skater opts not to, I was part of an incident, and they don't finish, would they still get advanced if they don't finish the race?
They could be advanced if they don't finish. However, if you're later in the rounds and it's the semifinals going to the A final, and you don't complete the race and you're not advanced, then you didn't complete the race, so you don't move on. And we saw that last weekend.
There we go. Heat 5. Andrew Hyo of the USA Eagles, Tobias Wolf of Austria, Su Junpeng of Chinese Taipei, Zhu Yiding of the Chinese Lungs, Daniel Bergen of the Ukrainian Wildcats, and Maxim Maximov of the Bulgarian Kings.
Going back a little bit, that was a lane change from outside to in on Matsubayashi. So he was outside on the corner and he kind of hooked in tight, and that's where he made contact with Felix Roussel and took him down. So that was the causation of that penalty.
To the start. Red.
Hyo, the USA Eagles, one to watch. Looked at the early returns last weekend that he's the 22-year-old, or 23-year-old rather, has certainly made some leaps over the offseason.
Yeah, definitely some big improvements by Andrew Hyo. He's been skating phenomenally well. I think he, as he moves on in the World Tour, he'll be looking to try to get himself into that top 20 to get some pre-qualification through some all distances if possible. But this race is, Bergen is leading this race off to a quicker pace. He didn't waste any time. Obviously he knows his best chances of getting through are going to be in that position 3 qualifying time. So he didn't want to waste a moment. And in short track, when you're looking at the time factor, the difference is generally just in the first lap. How quickly do you get up to speed? Because we see some starts, the first half lap may take 14 seconds when these skaters are capable of doing a half lap in 7 seconds. So if you throw away that time just in the first moments and then pick up the pace, even after the first half lap, it can be too late. So Bergen's not wasting any time getting things going here. Now the stronger skaters are going to use that to their advantage, because they can say, hey, you want to do the work? Fine, I'll just hang out here. I'm going to let you lead. I'll take that draft. It's about 25% more efficient to be drafting in the pack than leading. So they'll take full advantage of that. We see Andrew Geo doing that right now as he moves up to the front.
Geo made the A final in the 500 meters last week, so maybe the longer, faster pace, maybe not to his liking. Maybe that's why he's hit the front.
Yeah. And now we're already at 3 laps to go. So typically the skaters want to position themselves near those top 3 positions with 4 laps to go. That's really one of those markers in a race that you're using as a skater to justify or identify where you should be within the field.
The fast start has really shattered this field apart. It's Hyo behind Zhu Yiding right now. Looks like that is how this one's going to end. Tobias Wolf, the man who will turn 20 in just a few days' time, finishing in third, 2:16.76, and that is one of the faster third-place times.
Absolutely, yeah. That race with the winning time at 2:14, that's about 5 seconds faster than the next fastest race we've seen.
And so it's interesting, even when a field is shattered apart like that, guys put it all out there early and fade. But given that fast start, they almost put time in the bank over those really slow races. So there is a huge time gap, even though it might look like they're well off the pace.
Yeah.
And moving right along, where are we now? We are into heat number 6 of 8. They're going to flood, and then it's 500-meter time for the women, then the men. Tobias Wolf.
So we're seeing a review of that race. Bergen really pushed it. I think he losing a little bit of an edge there, or hit some speed wobbles on that right skate, maybe fatiguing a bit, those legs just not able to hold it anymore. But he did give himself a shot. That was his strategy. Unfortunately, he came up 4th. But again, that would have been a time required to go through. So good effort.
All clean so far, except for that one race where there was the penalized skater. There are the results. Nothing surprising there. Another 6 coming to the line. We'll run through it quickly. Our first look at an Italian gladiator for the weekend. That's Lucas Beckenhauser out of position 1. Furkan Akar, another one of the Turkish Anatolian pars. Peter Murphy out of Luxembourg. Asen Gurov, another king. Aybek Nassan of the Nomads, and Peter Joseph Grosskloos, the only member of the Philippine Tamaraws.
Go to the start. Right.
Yeah, well, always pointing out the youngster Grosskloos. The last weekend, he really showed no fear in some of his races, really going toe-to-toe with some older, more experienced skaters.
Yeah, he's an impressive young skater, Grosskloos. Actually, just technically too, he's very strong. So his coaches have been doing a great job, kind of developing him. I'm getting tongue-tied over here this morning, Gavin.
It's early, we're good.
Yeah. But technique is a big component of the sport in terms of delivering power to the ice, efficiency, aerodynamics, and you can see what can separate a top skater from a weaker skater just through their technique. And Peter Grosskloos, been quite impressed with his skating.
He's still 17 years old, from California, now living in the Washington, D.C. area. Behind him, Asen Gurov of the Kings in Sofia, capital. 18 years old is Gurov. wandering his way to the front, Ibeck Nassen. Now he slots back as Speckenhauser. Certainly one to watch as a medalist in the World Championships last year in Rotterdam. Maybe not his forte, his preferred event. There was an incident there. You'll see the first green dot. That's when a review gets cleared while the race is on, and so there won't be any more discipline there. And it's Speckenhauser waiting to see if he really starts to turn the screws ahead of a car. 2-3 to go. Hard to gauge the pace of this one. Certainly moving right now. Gross close forced out wide. That one will get reviewed, but it's Speckenhauser leading from the front, deciding I'm going to stay out of trouble. All the drama can unfold behind me. I'm just going to take this on my own. And a car says, do you mind if I join you? And it's those two crossing 1-2. Nassen will just make it for third. Nice push by Murphy there to try to close the gap there.
Gross close goes down after the line there.
He's up on his feet, seems to be okay. So see what that review may be.
Well, Speckenhauser in a car just in a field of their own in that race. They showed it. As simple as that. When you're in these earlier rounds, that's when you see more of a diverse ability gap. So we're seeing stronger skaters mixed in with weaker skaters, and that separation just is very apparent by the end of the race.
Once he decided to take control of it, that was really all she wrote, just watching and waiting for his moment. And there's the first incident. That's the one that was cleared.
Yeah, just a racing incident there. Two skaters holding their line.
This is what Speckenhauser says, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, just a controlled, relaxed outside pass. Didn't put any, didn't apply too much pressure on Gross close from the outside. He just knew he was going to go by. You'll see when skaters are making an outside pass and they're a bit more desperate, they're going to try to almost what we call wrap the skater.
After review, we give a penalty to number 130 from Luxembourg.
There you have it. Peter Murphy is penalized. Nobody is advancing because it would have been a battle for third. And so they ruled that it didn't affect any qualification positions, if I'm not mistaken.
So that was Peter Murphy's inside pass and a failure to give way on Peter Gross close. Here's a review.
Inside skater failing to give way, and that bumped Gross close out wide. So it's Nassen though with that third place time. Just the one advancement so far. Here's heat number 7. Another 6 skaters. Brandon Kim of the Eagles. Nathan Thomas of the Hussars. First look at him in the World Tour this year. Miata Shogo of the Ninjas. Quentin Fercoq, the first French Rooster. Mohamed Bozdag of the Anatolian Pars. And Sean McAnuff, our first look of the weekend at an Irish Wolfhound.
Go to the start. Right.
Nathan Thomas, he's 22 years old, began competing for Poland in 2022, gains that citizenship through his mother. McAnuff lives in Hungary, but originally from Canada as well.
Se joindre aux vagues quart de finale plus tard dans la compétition. Again, first and second place skaters racing up for a maximum of 6 fastest. Third place skaters qualify for the quarterfinal in this season.
Very slow pace on this one. Looks like they're battling for top 2.
Yeah, 13.2 second lap time is a very, very relaxed pace for these skaters. until we're getting into, you know, below the 10-second lap range, that's when we consider the paces moving pretty quick. Even for most of these skaters, 10-second laps, they can hold for quite a few laps.
Looking at Thomas there, he's taking about 2 strides out of the corner and then just coasts. Now Felcock picking things up. Maybe more of a sprint specialist. His 500 bronze medal last season, I think he won 2 medals on the World Cup. That broke a streak for the French side, where they had gone without any individual medals or any medals the previous season. Miata Shogo on the front.
Now the pace is moving. You see 9.3s on the board here. Keep an eye on that. 9.1s, dropping the speed down, 5 laps to go. See if Shogo can maintain this pace as we go into the last laps of the race. 9.0 again. These are quick times here.
Making a move up into 5th. Ahead of Kim, ahead of Bozdag, ahead of Felcock. Now they really start to push below 9-second lap times.
Yeah, the Shogo's doing a great job of progressing the pace here. It's making it increasingly difficult for the following skaters to make any maneuvers behind him. So for Cox having to make a move now, getting to 3rd. If he can't get up to that 2nd, he's going to hope for that time advancement.
Miata goes through ahead of Kim, and Felcock making that late move to get up into 3rd.
But you know what might cost for Cock here is that very slow start we talked about, the 13-second lap times. You just can't get those back no matter how quickly you finish at the end of a race.
2:28.5, certainly one of the lower 3rd place finishes we've seen, plus we do have an advancement, so I think that's the one that might be frozen out a little bit with 1 heat still to go. Just a look back here. Nothing meriting a review. Just a pretty straightforward race with Miata eventually hitting the front and really just turning the screws and inviting anyone else to try to pass him.
So 2:23.2 is currently the last time advancement position. So that's a time that these skaters will be having in the back of their mind. You know, they are aware of what's happening. They have to be aware of how the races are unfolding on those time advancements if they are considering going for one of them.
We'll see if anyone last chance to maybe go out on a flyer long range attack and see if they can't hold off the field.
And of course, the risk is if you're the skater that pushes that speed, that that pace at the front, you're putting in the work. You're giving the skaters behind you an easier opportunity to draft, to follow, to conserve energy. So you have to also have the strength to maintain it.
Felcock's time will not be good enough to advance. You do not see the little clock next to his name, so just the 2 moving on. And the final heat, Pigeon of the Hussars, Nico Anderman of Austria, Liam O'Brien of the Wolfhounds, Morozov of the Wildcats, Fajkus of the Ice Spiders, and Martinic of the Croatian Dalmatians.
Dernière vague de qualification sur 1500 mètres gelés. Messieurs, this is last heat in the men 1500 meters.
Morozov deciding to hit the front first. It's one of those in-between speeds. Not too quick, but also not a walking pace like we've seen.
Yeah, 12.1. Again, not blistering. If they maintain this much longer, I think they're going to be in hot water when it comes to that time advancement. 11.3 coming down.
Morozov, 20 years old, from Kiev, lives now in Białystok, which is really the hub of the Polish program. Pigeon behind him, the Quebec-born Hussar. It's Anderman, another young member of this very young Austrian side. Nico Anderman, 25 years old, from Vienna as he hits the front.
Pigeon's getting a nice smart race here. You notice he keeps positioning himself in second position. Right, nice, near the front, not having to do a lot of work, and just comfortably sitting in second. If anyone makes a move, he's prepared to attack and respond quickly.
He's got Liam O'Brien behind him, the Australian-born skater. His sister competed for Australian figure skating at an Olympics, and now he lives in Seoul. I think languages is what he studied, and he's a very multilingual skater. I'm sure he can just about understand any coaching conversation out there on the ice. Anyway, it's Pigeon, and now it is O'Brien 1 and 2.
2 laps to go here.
Down goes Ficus.
Pigeon dropping the speed.
Anderman taking a look for second. It's Pigeon O'Brien for the moment, and it looks like it's going to be Pigeon moving through O'Brien. Is there going to be a race for second? Nope, O'Brien will take it.
Oh, this time it's going to be right on the cusp. I think it's a 2:23.2 right now. We got to, of course, see if there's any yellow markers or advancements. I don't think I saw any. Did you, Gavin?
Looked like it was a clean race to me.
So this is one where the pace could have just been picked up a little bit that third time. You know, might just be 1/10.
If it's a tenth of a second and you're the odd man out, just imagine where there could have been a tenth there, there could have been a couple more there.
Absolutely. There you have it. We'll wait for the official results to come up.
Looks like it is just the two moving on from that heat. So Pigeon and O'Brien. And we'll get a look at the results. Different angle in the camera for the results board this weekend. Pigeon, O'Brien, and Anderman frozen out by a hair.
Yeah, it looks like the last qualifying time was a 2:23.0. 2:23.0 was the last qualifying time. So just 4/10. You know, when you start on 13-second laps, that was easy time up for grabs. But you know,
look at the skaters moving into the quarterfinals. The big Q means they were a top 2 finisher in their heat. All the way through here. Times all over the place because of course each race is different. We'll finish off the list here. The lights go down, the Zamboni's out. I believe they said it's about 13 minutes until we get back to action. It'll be 500 meters preliminaries. So wherever you are in the world, get yourself something to eat, something to drink. Be back with us in just over 10 minutes. skaters, and well, look who's out in position 5. Tyler, if it isn't Ariana Fontana.
I'm excited.
The Italian great has been lacing up the clap skates a little bit, doing some work in Utah, the Olympic level there. And we're calling the race back.
Looks like a little bit of a contact just at the last block to get that race called back, but that gives us a few moments, Gavin, to talk about Ariana Fontana.
Yeah, she's also done some work, I believe, at the Quebec City Oval, but back in her element where she's had the most success in her career. She gave a pass last weekend, but what is there to say about this woman that hasn't already been said? She doesn't skate a lot of last season and then shows up and is competitive at the World Championships. More than competitive.
Bronze medal at the World Championships.
Exactly. Just, it's nice to see her back.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see her. She's just one of those names you want to have in the sport. She's one of the greatest of all time in short track speed skating, the most decorated short track Olympic speed skater in history. Like what more can you say other than she's one of the GOATs, right?
And yeah, and certainly one to, potentially shake up any Crystal Gobris if she starts making finals again. One to just get in the mix, and is always exciting to see. Anyway, here we go again.
Ariana has her trademark inline short track start, one of a kind. Great start from 5th position to move into 2nd.
It's her and Kamila Stormovska storming to the front, and Tineke Dendelk of the Ice Bears, Leah Mead, and Una Wilhoit of the USA Eagles now really facing long odds to try to make the catch. But yeah, look at that, from position 5 into 2nd place, tucking in nicely behind Kamila Stormovska. Taking a look, setting up an inside move maybe?
Yep, we saw that earlier. About the corner prior, she set up wide, 2 crossovers in, got her acceleration moving, stayed wide, was able to hook that tight. Just a textbook pass. So much calm.
And she has not missed a beat, has she? Back and winning the first heat here.
Stormowska's a fantastic skater who's been competing up in the top 20, repeatedly. So, it's a great first race for Ariana. Get her feet underneath her, get her bearing straight. Again, she hasn't competed a lot of short track over the last 2 years. We didn't see her over the World Cup circuit. We didn't see her the year prior. Comes out at World Champs, bronze medal, takes a break again. And you know what? She's I'll say a more mature skater. I don't want to call her an older skater, but she has been around a long time. She may find that she wants more rest. She wants to change up her training, keep things interesting. She's just going to be fun to watch over the next 2 years as we head into the Milan Cortina Olympics.
She knows her way to the finish line and proved that there. Nothing, I don't think, getting reviewed, and so very by the books heat. And there you have it, Fontana, Stormovska. Dendelk does get the 3rd qualifying spot, and now Una Wilhoit is the 1st skater on the bubble, but with 2 spots available to the 4th fastest skaters. Potentially, those could disappear pretty quickly. Into heat number 2. Yana Khan, the bright pink helmet for the Kazakh Nomads. Kanai Rika of the Japanese Ninjas. Katarina Budic of the Croatian Dalmatians. Hyo Jin Kim of the Australian Racing Roos. And Dita van Oorschot of the Dutch Lions, getting some more action this weekend with a few of the more recognized Dutch faces out for continued period of time. Susanna Schulting still out.
And Selma Poutsma.
And it's Poutsma, right, of course, gold medalist on World Cup last year, tying Sandra Velsborg.
Was that here in Montreal, or was that
here in Montreal?
Yeah.
I think it was the 2nd weekend.
Could we get a repeat of a tie in the 500?
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Especially being here for that. That would just be high drama. Looks like everything's ready to go. Here is a false start, and it's 1 strike.
That's not a sound you want to hear, that second gun. If you have a feeling that that could have been you who has the false start, you get a sinking feeling in your stomach for sure.
Because you know you're also going to get called back to the line, almost like being called out in front of the entire school a little bit.
Exactly.
And there it is. It's Kanai who is penalized. And we are down to 4.
That's unfortunate. It's I think it's a great rule to keep the competition flowing and from stalling out, but certainly a tough pill to swallow if you're the one taking that false start.
They still do happen so infrequently, though.
Go to the start. Ready.
Back on track for seat number 2.
It is Khan out in front right now. Budic, the 27-year-old from Zagreb, chasing behind her. Budic can speak 4 languages: Bulgarian, Croatian, English, and Italian.
Khan has separated herself from the pack. We have Orshak going down in the corner.
Van Orshak went down on her own. It's Khan pulling away from this one, her and Budic, and that means that Kim looks like she would get one of those qualifying spots in 3rd place.
Khan creating that early gap off the start allowed her to have no pressure behind her, so she could skate a bit of a wider speed track, which was integral because that helped her separate herself from the field. But we'll have to take a review of Orshak. We don't see any markers on the screen. It might have just been her, losing an edge here on the corner. We'll hang tight and get a review.
So it's Khan, Budic, and Kim 1 through 3. We'll look back at the race here. And my gut instinct was that there was spaced out on that corner and she went down on her own, but we're gonna better look at it here. This might be it.
Yeah, she just kind of snuck in that inside pass and then had 2 feet on the ice and was trying to turn quite heavily on those 2 feet, and you're not going to get enough lean out of that. And when you're trying to make your heaviest turn, which we would call kind of your pivot, you want to be on your right foot. And that's going to allow you to turn and lean the most.
Royals number 59, Annabelle Green. Number 55 from the Ukrainian Wildcats, Tanya Adamko.
So another one another clean race pushing us through.
And from the German Wolves, number 68, Lisa Eckstein, and have the information in the last race.
And there we are, 1, 2, 3, Van Orshak, no time. So if we're looking for 4th placers that aren't going to factor in that advancement, it's Dita Van Orshak right there. Next heat, Annabelle Green, Ksenia Adamenko, Lam Ching Yan, and Lisa Eckstein.
Go to the start. Ready.
Mad dash, everybody surviving through the corner. It's Green out in front. Sort of the top-ranked skater, your 30th in the world rankings. Lam in 2nd, Adamenko 3rd, and Eckstein in 4th, but it's a battle for 2nd right now, because of course
Adamenko not quite setting that one up, and then Lam going down afterwards.
We'll get a review. It's Green, who's led from the gun. Advantages of jumping out to the lead. Let the drama take place behind you. And Eckstein caught up a little bit behind that, but fortunately for her, she had enough space to get around it and get top 3. And so now we will see what will happen there.
The 500 it's a difficult race. You have to find this ability to be patient in a 500 and wait for your opportunity and not rush it. But you get off the start and you already see 4 laps to go, so you already feeling rushed to make something happen, to get out to that lead or get into that qualifying position. So we'll wait to see the review of Adamenko here, but again, I'm not the official. I just felt that her pass was, you know, a little bit hurried when she made it. She didn't take the time to quite set it up and just didn't have enough time to get in.
So we'll get the better look at it here. Here it is.
So she just kind of forced herself in that position. They were so tight together on the ice that their feet get entangled, and Lamb goes down. I think if we see, you know, a penalty here, we'll get a review on that. Hopefully we can kind of take a look at the setup of that pass by Adamenko going into that corner.
Adamenko, the 20-year-old from Kharkiv.
But we do know that is what they're reviewing.
And if you remember me last weekend, I say there's video board number 1, video board number 2. They're still at video board number 1, looking at right there. And you said it started a little bit before them actually clicking blade on the corner. Here's another look here. Nope, not there. There it is.
It would have been nice if we kind of go back a half a lap just to kind of see how that unfolds. That's what they're reviewing, I think, right now. They're reviewing that moment right there.
I see that half lap. They just rewound it to that beginning opening.
You could just see there was quite a bit of a gap for her to overcome coming out of the corner. You'd like to see them a little bit more, her a little closer and already starting that pass.
And there you go. It is Adamenko. No punishment there.
Just a racing incident.
So Green, Adamenko, and Eckstein going on, and Lamb's time I do not think will be good enough since so few are getting through, and that, of course, wasn't the fastest time. We have 3 to go in this women's 500 meters, including in position number 1, Ariana Siegel, certainly a strong skater for the Italian Gladiators. Other skaters there, Nakashima Mire of the Ninjas, Udiana Dubrova of the Wildcats, and Zainep Kumarkan of the Kazakh Nomads.
Go to the start. Ready.
Siegel out of position 1, but Nakashima looking up the inside. She turns 21 later on this month. And of course, Siegel of the Seagulls. We discussed last weekend the plenty of familial connections out there on the ice, lots of siblings racing.
So with the advancements here being 1, 2, and 3 plus the 2 fastest fours, and some of these heats only having 4 skaters, there is a possibility that all 4 skaters could go through.
1 to go, it's Nakashima in front. Siegel going around the outside. She wants to take the win in the heat. A little bit of a bump. 1, 2, and 3, everyone over the line there. Dubrova in 4th. There is an incident under review.
Well, Siegel wanting to get the win here, trying to better her position in the next round of these races to make her way through.
You mentioned the importance of, in the 500 in particular, your finishing position and your for seeding, because that position on the line is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Just integral to bettering your odds of getting through, and you kind of talked about it earlier, Gavin, seeing the benefits of skaters getting out front, taking the early lead, and being able to avoid, you know, some of the action happening behind them. So if you're in start lane positions 1 and 2, you just have a better shot of being in that top position off the first corner.
So we'll see what they're looking at. But Nakashima appears to be good.
And number 84.
And there you have it. Nothing reviewed. Well, they reviewed it, but nothing supplementary added on. Siegel, Nakashima, Kumarkan on through 45.685. Dubrova will have to watch and wait. And 2 to go. Another of the Croatian Dalmatians, Valentina Askic, Kurokawa Ki of the Japanese Ninjas, and Gwendolyn Daudet of the French Roosters, and Holly Hoyland of the British Royals.
Ready.
First into the corner, it's Askic. Everybody, as they were on the line, so they were through that first corner, and an early gap developing between Askic, Kurokawa, and the back two.
Askic off to a quick start here. Again, the top three are qualified through, and then two fastest forwards for the advancement positions. Right now, we still don't have any advancements. There's only 2 heats remaining.
And at the bell, it's no change so far. It's Askic and Kurokawa, the 24-year-old. Closing things up Dode a little bit, but she's going to slot into 3rd place. And so Askic, Kurokawa, and Dode. I don't think there were any passes in that race.
No.
Just kept such a tempo that nobody could really amp things up and make a move.
Well, passing near your top speed is so difficult. And when we see that in the later rounds and amongst the best skaters, it's so impressive what they're doing when they're making passes at that much speed. It's, I wish I could explain better how hard it is, but you know, when you're already at your maximum velocity and you're trying to pass someone traveling the same speed, like you have to be so adept at adjusting your track pattern and creative in order to get by. It's quite difficult, and I think we're seeing a little bit that there was a bit of a quicker pace. Those skaters just couldn't find the room to make a move.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, okay.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
If I understand it, you're doing okay. There you have it, Askic, Kurokawa, and Dode. Hoyland 44.899 now on the clock. 1 to go. There's Malika Yermak of the Nomads, Somogi of the Falcons, Chloé Olivier of the Roosters, and Betty Muska of the Wolves.
So the 4th place time to beat right now would be a 45.17.
They're certainly off pretty quickly here. Somogi and Olivier, the Canadian-born Rooster who had some flashes in some of the racing last weekend.
9.5 lap times. They're going to be trying to bring that speed up a little bit here. We'll expect a faster time now. 8.9, nice sub 9 second lap. See some 8.8s there from the skaters drafting in the back.
Fidel, Somogi, Yermak, and Olivier. Muska looking around, trying to find the opening, going around the outside. And it's going to be Somogi taking it. Yermak and Olivier. 44.76 from the looks of things, and Tyler's nodding his head.
I think that was a nice quick race. The skaters are nice and close together, and again, with that 4th place advancement with the 2 fastest fours, I think that's going to be the time required to go through. So I'm kind of nodding in appreciation of not risking it from the 4th position if you're on it, feeling like you're on hot one.
So in the end, clean racing, and so those 2 3rd places could be enough to move on. The men are already out on the ice. Somogi taking that one.
So all 4 skaters advancing through that one.
And you'll get confirmation right there. All 4. The little Q next to Muska's name. So we will see them later on. So that will be part of the afternoon session, if I'm not mistaken. It is. The heats are coming up after some 1500s. There's a look at the qualifiers. Top of the list. Not a bad return for the one and only Ariana Fontana. That'll be part of our afternoon session. The heats. Now the men are out. Preliminaries. Only the first skater from each race and up to 9 fastest second place qualify for the heats. Different sort of story here. 5 skaters. You see the start list. Kuczynski, Fedorenko, Koss, Sui, and McAnuff.
Gavin, you already called it out. Same distance, completely different advancement protocol here, 1+9. Only the first skater is safe. Only the winner is safe.
It's Kuczynski off to a flyer.
Backing up down to the back.
Certainly Kuczynski, not someone we're used to seeing in these preliminary rounds of the 500 meters, but he means business here, not taking any chances.
8-3 with Kuczynski, 8-2 by Don Koss, tracking him down. He's catching into that draft. That's going to pull him right up on Kuczynski here. He's going to look for the finish line.
And it's going to be close. Kuczynski still takes it, though, ahead of Koss. Fedorenko slotting in for third. And so wire to wire, like a rocket off the gun, Łukasz Kuczynski takes heat number 1. Nothing getting looked at. Makhanoff, as Tyler mentioned, did go down. That's not going to be reviewed, though.
41-3. It's a solid time. We saw some, I think we actually saw a 39-9 last weekend in one of the later rounds by William Danjanu. I think we actually saw maybe 2 or 3 39-9s, but anything in that low 41, in the 40 region, that's a pretty quick time here in the preliminary rounds.
There's the incident there, unfortunate for Makhanoff.
Song from the German Wolf, number 83, Van Jong, number 105 from the Italian Gladiators, Lorenzo Previtali. The Belgian Ice Bears, number
So it's great to have the lap times coming up on the board. So if you're kind of paying attention to the lap times themselves, the way it'll progress after the first half lap. The first lap is a little bit slower, and then that second lap is going to be a little bit quicker. Skaters are going to try to hold that pace, and then usually we kind of see them start to fatigue by the end, and then that lap time will drop off. So, as a skater who's looking to get into a qualifying position, and you feeling the speed's a little bit quick in that midway point of the race, you can kind of count on the fact that it's probably going to slow down a little bit in that last lap, and that's going to be your best opportunity to strike. But that takes patience, and you have to be willing to know it's a one-shot deal to get through on that pass, but that's generally the best time. More experienced skaters will have that patience. They'll know they'll be able to make that pass when the pace does slow down in that last lap. But we'll keep an eye on those times. Anything 8.2 and under, that's getting pretty fast. So that's a 8.2 seconds to go 111 meters.
Fixing up some of the ice out there. That's why we're delayed. Now they're called to the line. This one, interesting heat. Ben Jung, Kim Tai-sung, Lorenzo Previtali, Ward Petre, and Zdenek Sepal, another of the ice spiders. What's interesting here, Kim Tai-sung, 23-year-old from Seoul, former world junior champion in the 500 meters.
Go to the start. Right.
Everybody lining up safely out of that quarter, and it's Kim well in front. Previtali getting the jump on Jung in second place.
Kim has an incredibly low upper body position. Look how compact he is. He is so low. Incredibly aerodynamic with that low upper body position, just getting underneath the wind.
Well out in front, Jung taking a look at second. Cost him a lot of speed, and he stumbles out of the corner. At the bell, it's Kim out in front. Petre moving in on Previtali, and it looks like Petre's going to take it. I'm not sure that'll get reviewed. It will. Comfortable for the White Tiger.
Well, a few things. Kim with a very quick race there, 41.01. As we talked about, that low 41, that's a quick time. That should be safe. But, Ben Jung there, not quite the setup on the pass that he wanted. And if you're making that pass and you have to kind of, hit the eject button, you got to bail out of it, you're hitting the brakes, that's going to kill all your momentum. You kind of see that as soon as he has to bail out of that pass, he just loses all of his speed. And then finally, we'll look at Petrie making that inside move on Vitali at the end here.
The two of them were having a conversation across the line there. Still taking a look there.
So the officials reviewing that last pass by Petrie?
I say Petre because I see the
Petre?
accents on his kit there.
Okay. Ah, that's right. Petre.
Saying a possible inside skater failure to give way. It's been 1 week since we've come here. I'm responding to the music you're creating for the PA. Wherever you are in the world, it's a Canadian band named Bare Naked Ladies, and it's their song 1 Week. And the opening lines are, "It's been 1 week." It's been 1 week since we saw action here. Anyway, very fitting. Doesn't look like any discipline will be taken as the results go up. Kim winning the heat, Petre in second, 41.817. There you go. Kim went under 41 seconds, Tyler.
There it is. That's the official. So what we're getting is just, might be the transponder time when they cross the line, but when we get the official, that is going to be from the photo finish, so it will be exact. And typically we see on the photo finish, it ends up being a little bit quicker than what we're getting with the transponder times. The transponders are on the ankle. The photo finish will look at the blade tip or the first portion of your skate to cross the line.
And as preliminary heats go, the next one's coming up is a lot of fun. Quentin Vercock, man who has medaled at the world level. There's Enzo Post, and then the youngster Peter Grosclose, who unafraid in those 500s last weekend, Tobias Wolf of Austria and Peter Murphy of Luxembourg as well. They haven't been called to the line just yet, but this one could be quite interesting indeed. Oh, there is a ruling, pardon me.
After a review, we gave a penalty for skater number 100 for Belgium, and we have an advancement for skater 105 from Italy.
It is Petre penalized, and Previtali advancing. That means there's not that many second place finishings still available. Well, it's 8 of 11.
There's eight still, yeah, so quite a few.
This is the move.
Typically what they're looking at, here's that late inside pass there, so Petre, failing to give way. Typically for an advancement strategy, they're trying to look at getting a 2+0, but they have to manage the number of skaters in the next round, which we've talked about, so they can't have a 2+0 plus advancements, because then we're going to be seeing 6 skaters on the line in the 500s, which is just too many, and that's more of obviously a safety concern too.
To the start. Right.
Important mad dash into the corner. The joys of position 1. Vercock, the man from Normandy, jumping into the early lead. And there's Grosclose jumping up into second ahead of Post. Tamarau. Vercock.
8-4 for Vercock there, a little bit slower than Kim from the previous race. 8-5.
Grosclose trying to go for the lead up the inside. Can he make it stick? It looks like he can. And the youngster, Peter Grosclose, how about that? Getting a win over an international medalist.
That was a beautiful little inside pass there. He was just able to squeak it out. I didn't see any issues with that. Well done. And again, we talked about this just a few moments ago, is having the patience to wait till later in the race when you know the pace is going to be a little bit slower. Get that 2.5 laps in, the pace is at its highest, then it's going to come down from there. Grosclose, wait that last half lap. Best opportunity to strike if you have the legs to do so. And actually, I think Grosclose had to make 2 passes in that race to make his way out to the front. So that's a nice little skate from that young skater. Said skater a lot of times there.
Well, it makes sense. That's what they are. And these results come up very quickly. Nothing got another look. And it's gross close. Moving on into the heats. Falcock 41.696 now. We'll watch and wait. Jumping into heat number 4. Another strong skater who, you know, didn't maybe have last weekend. He was hoping for DNA Cillier. We've seen him certainly put in some results, so this is sort of a chance at the same venue to sort of set things right, build some momentum.
Yeah, and DNA Cillier is definitely more of a 500-meter skater, so this is one that he's going to want to have a good performance in.
So there's Cillier, Ivan Donchev of the Kings. You just saw him in the back of the picture there. Pardon me, that's Peter Yashapati of the Hungarian Falcons. There's Kwok Fung of the Hong Kong Ice Chillins. He's in your shot right now. And Toprak Eroglu, skater we have not seen, if I'm not mistaken, for the Turkish Anatolian Pars.
Go to the start. Right.
Cillier, like a shot, gets to the front, but it is going to be brought back. There was a stumble there. I think it was Yashapati who went down.
Yes, Cillier, he exploded off that start. You know, good couple strides, but you know, it was kind of the second 10 meters. Like, he was just exploding, accelerating so quickly into that turn. You saw when he heard the gun go, kind of looking up to the sky there. Ah, knew that was a good one.
So we'll see if he can do it again. Two skaters getting their blades checked out.
You know, one thing with the top 20 skaters pre-qualified from these preliminary rounds, we end up getting tighter racing, closer ability racing, so it still makes these preliminaries, these heats, quite exciting to watch.
There's Yashapati. There's the great Jenny Radnova, Bulgarian coach now. Storied career in short track. Is that the term, torquing the blades there when she has the tool out there?
Yeah. Well, you have a drill bit with a torque setting on it, so when they tighten it, it will be set to a torque setting to make sure it's tight enough. But because you don't want to over tighten it, strip the bolt, and then have that blade stuck in there. So, you know, these quick pit stops are a great way, you know, for these skaters now to make sure their equipment is in check, it's safe, it's good to go. And, you know, we've seen in the past, before we could make these quick changes, skaters would clash and you would lose a chunk of your blade. You know, that they're hardened so much that, you know, those close impacts, two blades coming into contact with each other off the start with a lot of force can chip and shatter a blade.
They're changing the blade outright there on Donchev. And whistled back to the line. Donchev hasn't even turned 19 yet. He turns 19 in December, the man from Sofia.
Go to the start. Right.
Cillier not out as quickly, but he still manages to get into that corner first ahead of Yashapati.
Yeah, nice clean start by Cillier. He's really able to use these corners to accelerate out quickly now that he has this gap. Nice wide speed pattern by him.
There is a skater down there. It is Kwok of the Ice Chillins, but at the front. Oh, there's another skater down at high speed. It's Donchev. He was on his own. You always have to wonder about the blade swap, whether he had the right feel on it. Cillier and Yashapati, 1 and 2. It's going to be Cillier hanging on to take it. There is going to be a review, however.
You know, one thing that's difficult for the skaters too, if you're in the lead of this race, a skater's gone down in the corner, you have to be cognizant as you're coming around, you kind of have to hold back a little bit. You don't want to flirt with that edge of, you know, also going down into a skater who's just crashed, not only for their safety, your own safety, but also the mats have been moved, so they've kind of lost some of their effect now that they've already been pushed out. So you kind of have to hold it for a moment, be patient, and wait to skate again. Alf, here's a review.
Here's the incident there. There was a bit of a knock there, a bit of a collision. It was with Aroglu and Kwok. So I think that's the one being looked at, but Selye going on through.
So 2 corners in a row, Selye and Donchev are coming around with skaters on the ice. But if you're a skater looking to qualify and get through and you're in that second position, you might be thinking, oh, here's an opportunity I can take advantage of. If the skater in front of me is kind of hesitating on the corner, can I try to jump them? But then you're also taking a risk.
As you can see, waiting to confirm the results. You're still down at video board number 1. Second one, they tap in their rulings, and then they'll come announce it to us. This is what they're looking at right there, and out he goes. It looks like they've made their decision, and we'll get that result shortly. So they're still reviewing it.
So after the entry, though, that turn, those 2 skaters there, Kwok goes to put his left foot back down underneath him, gets that left foot on the ice, and then he boots out. So what that means is his boot makes contact with the ice and kind of lifts up, and then that sends about the board. So the skaters, they offset their blades. So their blades aren't centered under their feet. They're actually offset towards the track. So towards the inside of the track, if you will, so they can lean more heavily on that skate. And then typically it's the left boot that you can boot out on.
There we go.
After a review, we have a share of responsibility for skater 140 from Turkey and skater number 117 from Hong Kong, China.
There you go. Shared responsibility, so no penalties, essentially just saying you kind of both were to blame there. Next heat already out onto the ice. That's heat number 4 of 11. There you go. Yashapati 41.254 now on the bubble. There it is, no penalty for shared responsibility. Next heat has Brendan Corey of the Racing Ruse, Furkan Akar of the Anatolian Pars, Yang Chengri of the Ice Chillens, Asen Gurov of the Kings, and Wonjun Moon of the Hungarian Falcons.
Go to the start. Ready.
Time out for heat number 5 in a series of
And everyone through, and it's Corey in the front.
taking an early lead from the Australian Racing Group, 94
Tight entry there. Corey's definitely established himself as more of a fit first going along.
As you say that, the commentators curse.
Commentators curse.
Out he goes.
Oh, yeah, another one almost over the mats there.
Gurov, just way too much speed. And stayed on the ice, but only just. And now this thing is wide open. It's Moon, a car taking a look. Yang also there. He comes a car trying to get it at the finish. It's going to be Furkan Akar, but that late move. Moon is down now. And, well.
Kevin, this race has had it all. In a 4.5 lap race, how much just unfolded there. We saw Brendan Corey get off to a tremendous start. I was going to say earlier, he's really established himself as a 1,500 meter skater. It was great to see him in first position, get off to a nice quick start. Unfortunately, about a lap and a half in, he just kind of loses on the exit. And then things start just unfolding within the pack. We had an earlier inside pass by Gurov, it looked like. We'll get the replay. Here it is. All three shoulder to shoulder, get a car just kind of taking the brunt of that hit, getting pushed out wide. And a Corey out here on his own. I don't know if he just stripped an edge there and he just completely lost it, because he was looking very stable, looking in control. And then a car having to make his way back up to the front. We also lost, who we lost earlier was out of the boards.
It was Gurov.
That was Gurov who went out of the boards.
Yeah. So lots to dissect from that one. And a car who finished 9th at the World Championships in Rotterdam, sort of a watershed moment for him in that Turkey Anatolian Pars program, comfortably through there. Yeah, shame for Corey. He was in the A final. He mentioned his 1500 meter prowess. He was in the A final a week ago in that event. This is what they're looking at.
This is Moon on the inside here, right?
So kudos to a car for rallying and getting back and winning that heat after seeing a lot of speed sap out of his legs. Punching in those results.
I think Corey just lost his edge there.
It looks like we are about to get a ruling down on the ice.
After a review, we give a penalty to number 122 for Hungary, from Hungary.
There you go. Won Jun Moon will be penalized. The car doesn't need to be advanced in any stretch because he won't come back to win the heat, and Yang will watch and wait.
Well, with all the action, the drama unfolding there, that really slows down the speed of the race. So Yang will have to pay attention for that, because it's not the quickest time we've seen.
Is it possible that if he doesn't advance on time, since he was involved in this collision, could there be a belated advancement? Or is it...
At this point, no. So if they don't call the advancement now, he's just relying on time.
That's the next heat. Roberts Kreuzberg's interesting one. Back on the podium last weekend in the 1000 after missing out entirely on all podiums last season. Lucas McDonald, the American-born Ice Kia. Lucas Wareham of the Racing Ruse, Mark Chismadia, and Su Junpeng of Chinese Taipei.
Go to the start.
It's McDonald around the corner first, and there's a spill. And we'll start again. I was just looking for Kreuzbergs to see if he would jump to the front and do his usual tactic of hitting to the front and inviting people to try to pass him.
I think Kreuzberg certainly wants to get to the front. Lucas McDonald has a quick start, so Kreuzberg has some work to do to get first to the corner here. I think he got kind of squeezed out a little bit by Lucas just on that first start, but he's going to try to change that for this next restart.
Kreuzberg, as we saw last weekend, just huge upper body strength. When guys try to pass him and they go shoulder to shoulder, it's often Kreuzberg's coming out of the fray on top and often not even breaking stride.
Yeah, just a strong skater. Absolutely.
First day of action at the ISU Short Track World Tour, so big thank you to all of our volunteers.
Kreuzberg's the Golden Stars, that team of two, him and Reynes Berzins. And both of them, not often you see 100% of a team having medals at the international level. And back we go for take two in heat number 6. And this time it's Kreuzberg's in front. I mentioned Lucas McDonald, originally out of the United States, also competed for Canada at the age group level.
Kreuzberg's definitely got the start he wanted there. Lucas McDonald really wants to try to tuck into second here, get that time spot available. He can close this gap down because Kreuzberg's can fly 8.3 on that lap.
Leaving nothing to chance. Robert Kreuzberg's perhaps more his specialty in the 1,000 meters, but here he is well in front in the 500, cruising to victory. And he goes up 41 even, 41.84 for McDonald.
What's so impressive about Kreuzberg's is his consistency to maintain speed. He can get to velocity and just repeat those laps over and over and over. You know, and that's what we saw him do last weekend, round after round, to find himself on the 1,000-meter podium.
Sure, he would, when he does the 1,000 this week, he would like to avoid the repechage to save a little extra in the tank.
Well, what'll be great with that 1,000-meter result that he had is he'll be pre-qualified through, which will be a bonus. And then, of course, yes, trying to avoid the repechage on the weekend.
Those 1,000 meters will wrap up the morning session. Those first round of races that will come up after we finish these 500s. I don't think anything got reviewed there. I think everything was by the book. So we'll jump along into heat number 7 once we see those results confirmed on the board. Oh, we're changing the camera angle on me to post those results. Well played. Kreuzberg's and McDonald. Now we'll go to heat number 7. Radek Fajkus of the Ice Spiders will have position 1. Josh Ka of the Ice Kias. Stefan Alexander Kumurjev of the Kings. Liam O'Brien of the Wolfhounds. And Wesley Yates of the British Royals.
Go to the start.
Quick turnaround for O'Brien. We did just see him in the 1500 not too long ago. Fajkus out in front to an early lead. It's Ka right with him, the Australian-born Ice Kia. It's going to come down to those two, barring any incidents. But as I say that, Kumurjev may be closing things up a bit. O'Brien with him, but it might be too little too late. At the bell, it's Fajkus, Ka. We did lose Yates at one point. That's going to be Fajkus Grimace taking that one ahead of Ka, who 42.39 for that second place time.
Yeah, I think Wesley Yates was really trying to get after his speed there. Just looked a little bit rushed in his stride. So we'll see if we get another glimpse on the replay here, but it looked like he just wasn't quite getting his feet underneath him before he was trying to push and then just losing control. We see a little bit of a look there, a little bit off balance. Here again, just losing it.
Yeah, on his own. And also threw back Kumurjev. You're not at the front. There's the greater chance that you're caught up in something.
That's so difficult. You know, it's not like the skating. You can't just. It's not just run harder, run faster, right? Skate harder. You try to skate harder, but you have to maintain your technique and you have to maintain your control because you're on a 1.2 millimeter blade on a fine edge with a heavy lean. Like you can't rush that process. So it's this balance of trying to, you know, put all your pressure into that push, but also make sure it's not rushed. You have your foot underneath you. You can push through.
There we go. Fajkus through. Ka on the hot seat now. Down to our final 4 500-meter preliminary heats here. Kyle Ross Waddell of the British Royals in position 1. Martin Kolench, Rostislav Leontenko, Robin Bendig, and Lai Tsai Huan Chen of Chinese Taipei. And it's Ross Waddell enjoying the trappings of position 1, getting into first place, and Kolench now forced to follow him. Kolench making the move, the man from Zagreb, 28 years old. Taking the lead with 2 to go, but it's very close. Ross Waddell perhaps shaping up for something here. Now is Kolench. Ross Waddell, one last chance at the line. He's not going to take it. He's going to come in second. We'll check the time, 41.75. So it is one of the faster second place times.
That will hopefully be enough for Kyle Ross Waddell there. Really nice little inside pass by Martin Kolench. Get another look at that here in just a moment. Really saw a typical start there. They really filed into order based on what their start position was. You know, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, that's what they went into that first turn. In sequence, here's another look at that inside pass. Nice, clean move, lots of space.
Kolench then just too quick. Just keeping that gap there, and Ross Waddell not able to get the speed to even attempt to pass. Look at the photo. I think that's the first time we've seen the photo today. Get used to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, lots more photo finishes to come.
If last weekend was any indication, and I guess just the sport in general. Tailor-made for close finishes and high drama. And nothing getting looked at. There you have it, Kolench and Ross Waddell now. Down to 3-4 skaters in the remaining 3 heats. This one has Gleb Ivchenko of the Nomads, Jonas Hammermuller of the Wolves. Actually, pardon me, down to 3. Omar Agic was out, and Seung-min Kwon of the USA Eagles. So 3 skaters. This one will be interesting. Not often we get to see this.
Go to the start.
This race almost feels empty compared to the rounds that we've had 5 skaters on the line.
Almost very close to being a time trial. Seung-min Kwon, the USA Eagles, takes a stumble right on his toe there going into the corner. And now we're really down to 2 of Ivchenko and Hammermuller.
And that has just opened up this race here. Ivchenko can kind of be relaxed on this. He still doesn't want to shut it down. He still wants to have a solid time to go through the next round, but he knows get that first position advancement. Seung-min Kwon, he had just a beautiful, easy inside pass there, but I think he just caught the apex block with his right foot, and that just set him off.
And it's Ivchenko Hammermuller with a 42.89. Kwon looks like he will still. I'm not sure he'll finish things up. No, he won't.
Yeah, the refs blow at the whistle, so they know if the race is complete, they won't force you to finish the race.
Kwon, 21 years old, originally out of Daejeon in the Republic of Korea.
So here's a look at that inside pass by Kwon. Nice inside pass going into this turn. Catches his left foot just on the apex block, and that just kind of kicks him to his right foot and toes in.
So that's that one. And Hammermuller on the bubble. 2 to go. Yokoyama Hiroki from the Ninjas, Itzhak Dalat of the Dutch Lions, Ivan Martinic of the Croatian Dalmatians, and Lin Chun Che of Chinese Taipei. They're still fixing up the corner there where Kwon went down.
So our last two advancements on time right now are looking like a 42.88 and a 42, where did that go? A 42.93. Certainly achievable times for these skaters.
Go to the start. Go to the start. Red.
Squeezed into the corner, not getting all the way around. And that will be brought back. That was Lynn going into it with Delat.
That'll help out Martinich too. He just kind of backed off on that start. I think he felt like he got squeezed out. He backed off, opened up a bit of a gap. So that restart playing his favor as well if we watch the review.
Position 4 was Lynn. Trying to get all the way up into second. Customary blades getting looked at.
2 races left in the preliminaries of the men 500 meter. That will be followed by ice resurfacing, and then we'll resume the action with the set of preliminaries. In the 1,000 meter, that will be the last block of racing for the morning session. Lunch break will follow after the last preliminary race.
Here we go. Yokoyama is 40th ranked in the distance in the world rankings.
Go to the start. Red.
Looks like
Zach Delat catching his toe there. Another skater, Martinich, catching his toe.
in this one they're just continuing on.
Martinich kind of putting his hands up in the air saying, hey, what's going on?
This one they will not bring back because it wasn't under a collision, and so Hiroki Yokoyama, or Yokoyama Hiroki, pardon me, the man from Kobe, one of 2 30-year-olds in this race. Not often you see that.
Short track certainly considered more the young man's sport.
Last lap, but it is Yokoyama coming through to take it. And we'll see how the time holds up. That might be slower one from Lynn. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it. And will be interesting to take a look at this because Delat, you could tell he stumbled right off the line.
I think Martinich is still petitioning.
There it is right there. Delat couldn't do anything. And then Martinich,
Yeah,
we'll see if he was affected by
I did see a
Delat.
little clash between their blades right there. That's what kicked his left foot out.
Interesting. It wasn't brought back.
But you know, these things are happening so quick. The officials can't see everything. They can't see every single blade. It's very difficult.
Another patch job coming up. Almost time for a resurface here in Montreal. But it's Yokoyama Hiroki moving on. And there you have it. Just the one moving on. Lynn's time not quick enough to advance.
You know, as we work our way through these preliminary 500, you just see all the ways that short track can challenge you, from whether it's you towing in on the start, making blade contact with somebody else, hitting a block, you know, contact on a pass, right? It shows, you know, the amount of hurdles you have to pass through on your way to try to win a distance in this World Tour. So difficult.
One more to go. Nico Anderman in position 1. Oleg Hande, the 25-year-old from Kiev, in position 2. Matsubayashi Yui and Murat Tatachi of the Anatolian Pars. 25-year-old from Vienna. Hyundai in front of him, or behind him, rather. This one's hard to handicap. It's really anyone's race here. It's a quick start for Enderman.
Hyundai's very capable of passing, but Tatachi going up the inside, nice move. Oh,
and down he goes, as does Enderman.
Hyundai takes advantage. Now we have a two-skater race.
Matsubayashi and Hyundai going for it. There is the bell. That incident, of course, will be reviewed. It's Hyundai still in front. Here comes Matsubayashi taking a look. Is he going to trap the inside? Yes, he is, and Hyundai hangs on. 41.83 for Matsubayashi.
And that time should do it for Matsubayashi.
Pending any more advancements.
Yes.
Although this is the last heat, so I feel pretty confident for his chances.
Yeah, I think he will be through safely. But we'll get a review here. Ole Hyundai was looking to make a maneuver on the outside. Tatachi saw the opening on the inside. He jumped up, looking all the way to lead. Okay, we're going to get another glimpse here as Hyundai starts to go wide, setting up Tatachi. Really wide looking hook inside. There we go.
I think Tatachi took himself out.
Yeah, you know, he would look like he was kind of clear in the lead and then just lost control.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been the initial incident that forced Enderman out wide, too.
There was also the incident actually after Tatachi, he goes down, he actually makes contact with Nico Enderman.
So, looks like they've finished taking a look. Nothing has been punched in just yet for the screens. And they have moved over to the results board. They are going to do some resurfacing after this. We'll just wait and see what the decision is here. Here we go, down to the ice level.
After review, we give a penalty to skater 141 from Turkey, and we advance skater 60 from Austria.
Well, and there you have it. There is the penalty. I guess we'll see the replay of that. And Enderman is advanced, so it was that initial move going in that set the wheels in motion, so to speak. Matsubayashi is also going through on time. So 3 from that heat. They are calling it a late pass.
Enderman still had that lead going into the start of the turn. Tatachi goes down and actually then takes out Enderman with the fall as well to clip his toe.
And so there you have it. As you look at the qualifiers, that means time for resurfacing. Get another quick little break here before the 1,000 meters. And that will wrap up the morning session, but much more to come from here in Montreal. We will be back with you in just a little bit. coming up in the women's 1,000 meters. The first, second, and third place skaters from each, and a maximum of the 2 fastest fourth place skaters qualify. As we get down to the end, the last 3 heats have 3 skaters, so 4 skaters going for 3 guaranteed spots. Could make things interesting down the final stretch, and we will get another look at how Ariana the Great is feeling. She'll skate in heat number 2, sort of a trial by fire on your, well, this is her debut on the World Tour, as she, we do know about her medals at World Championships, but since she did not race the international circuit last year, it puts her ranking down low, Tyler, so she's going to have to do things the hard way.
Yeah, that's right. It's obviously, if you have a higher ranking, it's more advantageous to your early pairs.
And so 5 going in here: Hidai, Olivier, Askic, Mead, and Stahl.
Go to the start. Move back, skaters. Position 2, stay back on the line. One moment, skaters.
Léger, délai pour replacer certaines banderoles et on reprend l'action.
So the 1,000 meter is the one event that starts on the opposing side from the 500 meter start and the 1,500 meter start, which you have 7 different starting lines to choose from, which move with the track. On the 1,000 meter, 1 start line.
We're just checking one of the
Go to the start.
boards there. They got it all velcroed back on. We're good to go.
Ready.
Heat number 1 is now.
So what's kind of interesting with only having the 1 start line for the 1,000 meter, as the blocks shift on the track for fresh tracks, the start line doesn't move. So the distance from the start line to the first block in the 1,000 meter actually changes race to race as they move the blocks. Whereas consistently on the 500 meter and the 1,500 meter, they're adjusting the start line with the blocks for their position on the track, so that's always the same. But it's just kind of something unique about the 1,000 that makes it different from the 500 and the 1,500 meter.
Stahl, the youngster of the USA Eagles. Really getting a shot. Julie Latai, US veteran, with a hip injury. It's needed surgery, so she's aiming to be back at some point, but that opens the door, and Stahl has seen some skating at the very top level here. She was on the US, sorry, I was just gonna say she was a member of the short track world junior team last year at the World Junior Worlds.
Stahl's not wasting any time either, keeping this pace going, right? There's also the time advancements. She's looking for that. We have a skater down in the corner, only down to 4 now.
So 3 guaranteed spots. The 4th will be time. Here comes Olivier. We know she has some speed. It's a long way to go for her trying to go around. Gets ahead of Stahl. And the dash to the line. Askic, Hidai, and Olivier. 1, 2, and 3. Stahl in 4th, and there will be that incident to be looked at. We'll see. I missed. Honest Mead going down there. I just saw the end result.
So we'll keep an eye on Stahl's time. It looks like she's going to be in that 4th position, but she did a good job of getting the pace going, keeping the pace accelerated so that there would be a quicker time in the event that she does get 4th. Perhaps that's going to be enough to get her through. Decision here. Next race, we see Ariana Fontana on the ice now. As you mentioned, Gavin, unranked from not having competed in the World Cups last season. Not every day where you see a skater as decorated as Ariana Fontana coming in as an unranked skater.
But I'm sure she might like it this way, get the reps back in at, I wouldn't say a low pressure situation, but just against rivals that she should be fairly confident of coming ahead of.
Certainly, yeah, what we might say, shaking the rust off, getting her racing legs back underneath her. It's been a while since the World Championships, about 7 months. Wasn't competing in that much short track prior to that, but she's such a veteran of the sport. you know, she knows what she's doing. She just needs to get back into it here. One thing about Ariana too is just the longevity of her career. She's been around, I think she was it the Torino Olympics in 2006?
We speak of this being a young skater's game.
She was setting 16 in Torino in 2006.
Yep, she won bronze in the women's relay. Her first ever Olympic medal.
So pretty special for her. 20 years later, it would be going back to an Olympic Games in Italy.
That's really true, the book ending it, so to speak. And also, you know, with her trying the oval, we'll see what she does in that regard,
Yeah,
too.
does she have another 4 years in long track after that and short track?
The mass start does certainly open in there. Plus, of course, the team pursuit. We've seen people do both. You look at the likes of Evanie Blondet, the Canadian, who does both the mass start and the team pursuit, amongst other things, and she had a short track beginning.
Well, we see skaters like Yurine Tamores, who competed in both short track and long track at the Olympics. We talked a little about that. Latvian skater Harold Silvos doing that as well.
There you have it. Hidai DNF in the end, and so it is actually stall through.
Go to the start. Ready.
So Tyler has more on what actually happened there. You saw that DNF at the line.
Yeah, so what happened was Leah Mead, no time. And reason being was she was
It was
inside.
Hidai, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, because
No.
Mead crashed out. Yeah, DNF, Hidai.
Yeah, sorry,
37.
yeah, Leah Mead, she had no time, but Hidai, I mean, she was inside the finish line and the photo finish, so they can't see her, they can't award her a finishing time. So you're looking at the track at the finish line, you can't be within that black line.
So just going through the rest of this race, Yelizaveta Sidorko of the Ukrainian Wildcats on the front. Dita Van Oorschot, certainly one to watch, as well as Fontana jumps up into second. Also there, Lam Qingyan of the Ice Chilins and Maya Somodi of the Falcons. Fontana did some TV work for the Italian television during the Paris Olympics, so she got to experience a Summer Games. She's all over the place these days. Then got right back into training, a lot of it in North America. Van Oorschot from the front after crashing out earlier. Here she is deciding, I'm just going to stay away from danger, but Fontana so smooth just getting around there. Leading at the bell, it's Ariana Fontana going 2 for 2 in the early rounds here in Montreal. Smoothly across the line, Van Oorschot second, Somodi in third. Well, she hasn't slipped on any banana peels yet, all going to plan for Fontana so far.
Well, she looked incredibly relaxed in that race. There's a few moments where she's kind of moving wide, looking to set up. I thought originally to go for an inside pass, and as you saw, Gavin just kind of, you know what, jumped to the outside, kept it going that way. But she just looked so calm, so collected, technically strong there. So it'll be really interesting to watch Ariana Fontana as we get later in these rounds when she starts going up some of the likes of Kristen Santos Griswold, Kim Geely, and the others.
Gladiator just looking like she has not skipped a beat on through, and yeah, no, setting up those eye-watering races where there's going to be so much talent on the line still to come, and I don't think anything merited a look. We can just sort of skip merrily along. Fontana, Van Oorschot, Somodi 1-2-3, Lamb with a 1:35.964 now watching. And into heat number 3 of 6, this has Gwendolyn Daudet of the Roosters, Yamana Arena of the Ninjas, Petra Vankova of the Ice Spiders, Miroslava Selyakova of the Wildcats, and Annabelle Green of the Royals.
Go to the start. Ready.
The first strides are a bit of a mad dash in the 1,000, and then it's just settling in to position. Selyakova hitting the front. We'll all be, of course, well aware of what the previous time is. Selyakova, just 20 years old, out of Kharkiv. And of course, like the Ukrainian skaters now living and training in Poland. It is new change at the front as the washing machine effect starts to go in. It's Yamana leading the way, good Daudet in second. A little stumble with Vankova there.
Some really good battles for the lead position here.
Daudet shaping up a move. There she goes on the inside, takes a bump, keeps on going. See that one coming. She's coming out of the corner. She's eyeing the inside, and Daudet now picking up the speed a little bit, really starting to spread out the field. Yamana taking back the lead. Selyakova, oh pardon me, that's Annabelle Green monitoring the situation from third. At the bell, still Yamana, Daudet, and Green. I think that's how it's going to finish. It's the top 3 moving on. Positioning not as urgent as in the 500 meters.
Again, with the top 3 skaters going through, makes for less desperation to get those, you know, between first and second, right? You can be relaxed there. You don't have to make any desperate moves. Don't risk it at this point. The start position of the 1,000 is not as crucial as the 500 meter. As you mentioned, Gavin, you usually get a couple quick steps, and then it slows down, and then somebody attacks. So there are moments where you can reposition yourself towards the front if that's more your racing style. And it's less of an intense start than the 500 meter.
So Yamana, still just 24, turns 25 next month, actually just after the Seoul World Tour event.
Look at Yamana's inside pass here. Nice clean maneuver.
Yamana lives in Otsu, which is just northeast of Kyoto. There, the results confirmed. And on to heat number 4. Now we're down to the 4 skater heats. You see it, Yermak, Rapetska, Malashevska, and Budic.
Go to the start. Back ladies. Position 3. Back to skate. Go to the start. Ready.
Last weekend was Malashevska's return to the circuit, 28 years old, with the pink helmet for the Hussars.
Second and third place skaters will be racing up for a maximum of 2 fastest fourth place skaters qualify for the heat.
And when 3/4 of the skaters are going through, and potentially all 4, certainly creates an interesting dynamic. And this doesn't feel like it's the swiftest of openings.
No, at this point, they're really just racing to not be last. Whoever doesn't come last is getting through.
Yeah,
just
like
gotta
those
be one
odds,
person,
75% go through.
So Where that might change in the other races if we see someone who's not all that confident that they'll be the top 3 to push that pace right away, because then they know no matter where they finish, they will be in the top 4, but there aren't a lot of advancement positions, so you can't count too heavily on that. You really want to be top 3.
It's Yermak in front, and these things really will ramp up quickly. Malashevska watching. Budic maybe looking at a move behind Yermak, but at the moment it's Repetska in front. Now we await the moves. Down to 3. You're in 4th. You're going to have to start to look. Budic, the pressure ramping up. It's Malashevska in front. We know how she has a kick. And Yermak into 2nd.
Repetska might have gone too early. Let's see, with 1 lap to go here.
Budic making the move, can't make it stick. Repetska skating defensively, hanging on. Budic has 1 last chance, and it's Repetska who will just hang on for 3rd.
You know, I think Bjorda had a really good opportunity to make a pass there, but she just set it up too wide and gave up too much of a track.
So another clean race. And so I'll take a look at the 3rd place time if it came up. Let's see it. But there are 2 heats still to go. There it is, 143.987. That will not be enough. That was,
Yes, for the 4th place there. Yeah, not enough.
We were quite rightly spotting that was a bit of a slower heat. We get down to the final 2 in the women's 1,000. Men's 1,000 up next, and then it is lunchtime. And if you are watching on the ISU YouTube channel, keep an eye out for the link for the afternoon's races as qualifying continues. Keep an eye out, of course, for plenty of content on that ISU YouTube channel, not only for short track, also for speed skating and figure skating, pretty much everything on the blades. There's the results. And, of course, join the conversation online. Hashtag Short Track World Tour. Malashevska, Yermak, and Repetska. 2 to go. Tinnika Dendulk of the Ice Bears, Tikhonova of the Nomads, Muska of the Wolves, and Kim of the Racing Roos. This one, certainly a couple skaters trying to up the tempo. You see Kim and Tikhonova going to the front. Looks for a moment like they were going to go at it quickly, but then they just sort of have settled in.
Well, this is just a little chess match right now for who can kind of control the lead. What they're wanting to do is be positioned at that front for sure around that 5 and 4 lap to go marker, so that when someone does strike, they can just latch on and take that draft and sit in position number 2 all the way to the finish. And here we go, Tikhonova on the outside.
Tikhonova, the 27-year-old from Kustanai, hitting the front. He's also competed in speed skating for Kazakhstan. Kim watching her. Dendulk letting it go a little bit. She has some time to close it up, but the longer that gap is there, the harder it's going to get to close down.
Kim's just comfortable in 2nd position right now. She knows that's a qualifying spot. She can stay relaxed there. Got to be top 3. Potentially that 4th place time for time.
And inside, 2 to go. It's Tikhonova still in front. Kim right there. Muska, Dendulk. I'm not sure she has the legs to close it up. There's a little bit of a grimace there, and it's going to be the top 3. You see the qualifying time was about a 1:36, and that will be slower than that one. So I don't think that will be enough for Dendulk to go through. Tikhonova jumped to the front, hung on. No one really challenging her for that lead with 3 qualifying spots. Nobody really had to in the end.
So still no advancements. 2 fourth place times will be going through unless we get an advancement or 2 in this last heat of the preliminary rounds. And the times are looking like a 136.917 and a 135.964.
There we go. There are the 3. Tikhonova, Kim, and Muska. Tyndall not advancing. 1 to go. 4 skaters: Lisa Eckstein, Gabriela Topolska, Alina Ashgalieva, and Holly Hoyland.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Ashgalieva back there, just turned 19 about a month ago. But on the front, it is Elisa Eckstein.
Eckstein has this pace a little bit quicker than the previous races that we've seen.
Eckstein, 17th in the 1,000 at the World Championships. Hoyland jumping up into second. Topolska, or sitting up into third. Topolska in second currently.
Yeah, right now, if you're unsure about that top 3 position, you could just time trial this to a 136.9 and be in fourth, right? So don't mind that strategy if you feel like you're a skater that's on the edge.
Real reshuffling going on. Just about everybody's had a turn at the front. It is Hoyland at the moment. And that British Royal side that does their training up in Nottingham. And now it is Topolska on the front with Ashgalieva in second. Lapping mid-9s with 2 to go. Topolska in front. Possible that all 4 of them go through, but it is possible that one does go out. At the bell, it's Topolska, Ashgalieva, Hoyland hanging on for third. Eckstein not really getting a good run there, but it's Topolska, Ashgalieva, Hoyland, and Eckstein 134.66. That might
would
do
be
it.
quick enough. Yeah, I think Eckstein just not waste any time in those first 2 laps just to get the pace going, and after about 3 laps, the other skaters took over and just kept that speed going, so that would bring her through.
It almost seems a lot easier to set the momentum early and hang on as opposed to starting slowly and being forced to ramp it up and regain that lost time.
Yeah, certainly if you're looking at the time advancement, like it's so difficult to get it back if you start slowly.
Better to put it in the bank. Let it pay off later as you start to fade. So that's the women's 1,000 meters. I don't think anything needs to be looked at there. They all finished essentially Grupo Compacto at the end there. So that's the women's 1,000 meter prelims. And so on to the men. There you have it, all 4 moving on. And then once again, the men's 1,000 meter, as you see all the qualifiers. The men's 1,000 meters, well, it's a completely different story. 11 heats, just the first place skater, and up to 9 of the fastest second place skaters qualify for the heats. So there is a solid opportunity if you come in second place, but there's no 3 automatic qualifiers. There's more men skating, more heats. Still got to make the same number through. Ready to get going. Heat number 1 as Jung-Sun Woo. There's a familiar name. Oleg Hyundai, Brandon Kim, Sean McAnuff, and Martin Kolench.
Go to the start. Right.
Jung-Sun Woo. 22 years of age, rather, from Daegu. Plenty of individual and relay medals on, well, the old World Cup. Last week he was used almost exclusively. I don't think he did any individual events. He was mostly in just the relays, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't recall off the top of my head. Perhaps he was in the 15 or the 1500 or the 1000.
Well, he's here now.
He's here now today. But again, we saw this with the men's 500 meter, the advancements of 1 plus 9 times. Well, that puts so much pressure on being the #1 skater in these races. Jang Sung-woo not taking any chances here, creating some separation, pushing that pace, but he's got Brandon Kim tracking him down, who has been on point last week. So let's keep an eye on these skaters as we move towards the final laps.
As we've learned, can never count out Oleg Hyundai. 2 to go. As I say, that goes into the back of Kim, takes a spill, and it's Jang leading the way, and that's opened the door for Martin Kolech to come up into second. We'll take a look at that. Obviously, Jang staying out of trouble, staying out of danger, and unofficially through. I don't think his position is going to be under any risk at all.
Obviously, we're going to want to get a highlight, a replay here of Brandon Kim and Ole Hyundai going into that corner. Look to me, on a quick glimpse, Kim was just looking to set up a pass on Jang Sung-woo, and then before he had the ability to, he kind of got entangled with Hyundai on the corner. So we'll just watch that. That's this moment here. Kim's moves out wide a little bit. Hyundai comes in. So they're kind of, their paths are kind of crossing each other's as Brandon Kim is kind of shifting towards the outside, and Ole Hyundai's looking to go on the inside, and that kind of catches them up on each other. We'll wait for the official decision here.
And they, I believe, have moved on to video board number 2. No announcement just yet. Hyundai, he really does every single event.
And that, you know, will better his standings in the Crystal Globe overall.
And then, of course, the team overall as well. The new addition this year. This is what they're reviewing as they come together right there. And Hyundai.
Yeah, there's maybe a bit of an arm up on Kim's back by Hyundai there. I'm not sure if that was pushing Kim outwards.
And it's looking like it is Hyundai contact by behind or from behind in the corner. That's the possibility that they're looking at right now.
You can just see that right forearm of Hyundai kind of on the lower back of Kim in the turn there. And it doesn't, you know, doesn't take too much just to kind of set you off balance. And as soon as that happens, you know, the rotational forces of the corner are starting to try to pull you out.
And it looks like the decision has been made. Looks like there might be something coming. We'll send things down to ice level.
After a review, we give a penalty to skater 75, and we advance skater 42 from USA.
There you go. It is Hyundai penalized, and it's Kim getting advanced. Kim will go on. Kolech will wait and see if his time holds up. So there goes one of those possible second place times. Here's a look at it again. Contact from behind in that corner, just goes right up, a bump, and down he goes.
You see that right arm come up on the hip of Kim there.
And into heat number 2. First look at one of the Liu brothers this weekend, Liu Xiaowang, Peter Yashapati of the Falcons, Andrew Hyo of the Eagles, Mohamed Bozdag of the Anatolian Pars, and Wesley Yates of the Royals.
Go to the stop. Right.
This one could be interesting with some pretty potent power there. Of course, we know Liu, we know the rising Andrew Hyo. Bozdag on the front right now.
Yeah, Yeah, this is going to be a battle at the finish for sure.
Especially with one automatic place.
You really want to be first to be safe. Liu Xiaowang, such a smooth skater, such a beautiful skater to watch on the ice. Always just looks so relaxed.
Hyo on the front.
I don't think last weekend was the results that the Chinese Lungs were hoping for. I think this weekend they're going to look to make some improvements. They all have the ability to do so, and there's Liu Xiaowang moving to the lead of the race. Andrew Hyo looking to get right back on him.
And the Chinese Lungs last weekend, just 2 medals. That's the side that won the most medals at the World Championships, just to show how quickly things change week to week. Things are never the same here. And at the bell, it's Liu leading Hyo. Is Hyo going to make a move? The young man from Philadelphia taking a look. Is he going to set something up on the inside? No, he isn't. He'll settle for second, 128.87. And Liu protects that lead and takes the race.
Liu was just skating a really nice track pattern by the end of that race. He wasn't entering too tight to dump speed, just swinging out enough, protect his lane, and still be able to carry enough speed through the corner to keep that momentum going, making it very difficult to pass him. Here's another look at his inside pass. So controlled.
Looks very effortless getting through there and hanging on the rest of the way. Hyo thought about making a run. Thought better of it. It felt like it was at a brisk pace anyway.
So Andrew Hyo's time was a 1:28.89. You know, last weekend we saw Kruisberg do a couple races sub 1:24. I think he pulled personally 2 1:23 races in the thousands. So just to give you a frame of reference of what the fastest times were we were seeing last week.
Here's heat number 3. Galyakhmatov, Connect, O'Brien, McDonald, and Grossclose. A few interesting storylines to watch here. Grossclose perhaps in his element more in the 500. Shinky Connect, always one to watch as well.
Go to the start. Run.
Galyakhmatov turning 26 in just a few weeks. Galyakhmatov, first short tracker for Kazakhstan to finish on the podium in a 1500 at a World Cup. That was in 2021. Picking up a silver medal in Beijing to place the tour. We'll visit twice this year. World Tour stop in December. And then, of course, the World Championships to wrap up the season in March.
Let's keep an eye on Shinky Connect here. I think he's going to be looking to move to the lead just within 3 laps to go here. This is 4 laps to go.
O'Brien taking a look into second. Nice move from him to get up there. Now Connect saying, I'll take that right back. A bit of a bump there. That will get a look, but it's still Galyakhmatov on the front right now with Connect currently in line to cross the line in second place. Grossclose taking a look now. The young man closing up. Might he have a push? At the bell, Galyakhmatov and Connect. Grossclose knowing he's got to do something. Connect for the lead. And Connect will cross the line first ahead of Galyakhmatov and Grossclose.
In the last 3 laps there, Shinky Connect was kind of moving around looking for openings. Galyakhmatov not really giving up many chances. Connect just holding out, waiting for that last lap, that last moment to strike. He did so just right.
Dutch veteran really seems to be back on the tour full time now.
Well, Shinky Connect, he's been around for years and years. One of the veterans here on the tour. Great to see him back. He's had to, overcome a few injuries over the past couple years. Shinky, incredibly decorated skater too. I don't know, we should pull up the list of his accolades of what he's done over the past few years.
So they have made a decision. The results are being punched in. We'll see if there's the dreaded skate to the middle. And there is an announcement coming down at ice level.
After a review, we give correction. After a review, we have shared responsibility for skater 91 for Ireland and skater 131 for Netherlands.
There you have it. Shared responsibilities to call between Shinky Connect and Liam O'Brien. Connect, of course, would go on to win the race. So just a racing incident, as he called it, going shoulder to shoulder into that turn.
And just talking about some of the accolades of Shinky Connect, I wanted to pull it up here because I don't want to miss anything, but 14 World Championship medals to his name, 2 individual Olympic medals to his name, 1500 meter silver, Pyeongchang in 2018, and bronze in the 1000 meter in Sochi in 2014.
And into heat number 4, Natalini of the Gladiators, Atan of the Anatolian Pars, Yang of the Ice Chillins, Van Dam, Wara Van Dam of the Ice Bears, Moon of the Falcons.
Ryan.
Natalini, of note, last weekend finished a race and then stayed on to do a relay.
Back to back, you don't see that every day. But I was just going to mention Thomas Natalini. I think he's one of those skaters that really benefited from his summer training. I thought he looked very strong last week in the first World Tour stop here in Montreal. So let's keep an eye on him over the course of the weekend. He was showing his great speed, his great ability to pass. Let's watch him do that here today. We'll see if he wants to make a move strategically to get to the front early, get out of trouble, kind of try to separate himself from the field, or will he try to stay relaxed, wait for his moment to strike later in the race.
Of course, the Italians building a program to host the Olympics. Bormio seemed to be the place to be this summer, with the Dutch swinging by. The Chinese were there. I know Brendan Corey was there. I'm missing a few programs, but that seemed to be the hotbed this summer.
Natalini making that outside pass, carrying so much speed, he wasn't even putting a hand down.
And it's Atan going down, Natalini out in front, in control. It's Moon in second. Natalini making the move, and that might be all she wrote in this race. At the bell, Natalini, a little bit of a glimpse, but he knows he is in control here, taking this one. Moon is going to try to get up for second. Van Dam tried to make him sweat a little bit, but Moon didn't really push for the time there.
No, I think they had a feeling it was a little bit slower of a pace to begin with. They just gave up a little bit of time in those first few laps. And again, just once it's gone, it's gone. Natalini there, in the last half lap, taking a look over his shoulder, making sure there's no one charging for his first place position, and just relaxing it, taking it across the line. See if we get a glimpse of Atan. I think, is this the corner here? Not quite yet.
This might be it now. And down he goes, just maybe under his own.
Yeah, it looked like he maybe just got his weight back on his heels a little bit.
Slamming the fist into the ice. Easy for that man. Well, he made it look easy. It's by no means easy. There you have it. Natalini and Moon 133.636. We'll see if that's one of the times that holds up. That's through 4 races. And there's the 5th. Brendan Corey, Peter Murphy, Bensi Nogradi, Yaroslav Morozov, and Kwok Fung from the Hong Kong Ice Chillins. Corey went down earlier, leading from the 500, out for a little bit of a redemption here as we maybe approaches wheelhouse the 1500.
Go to the start. Right.
Of course, we see a lot of guys from these countries, from a lot of countries where short track may not be huge just yet, but if they can sort of hold up a Crystal Globe result and say, look, I finished top 15 in the world in the Crystal Globe standings, that could go a long way for things like funding and the like.
Certainly, you know, Brendan Corey's results at the World Championships on that podium, I'd imagine would have had impact on his organization's funding, hopefully helping get a few more skaters to the World Tour, and then hopefully building a team. I believe we've got three Australian men competing this weekend, so they're one shy of being able to assemble a relay team, so they're getting there.
Nogradi on the front of the Falcons, first representative of the Turul, mythical bird of prey that represents Hungarian people.
Nogradi is definitely pushing the pace here a little bit. This is one where they're going to be looking for that time. Brendan Corey's got to stay relaxed here.
And Murphy is one to watch here as well. Has had a good result in 1,000 meters. So it's really 3 going for it right now.
Brendan Corey setting it up wide there. He's going to try to go the long way. He is.
And he makes this one stick. No mistakes so far from Brendan Corey. A look over his shoulder. Just gets through that last corner, and he will carry this one over the line ahead of Nogradi.
And there's a time that should withstand. You know, the previous one we saw 133. These skaters are capable of doing 123 or sub, so that's about a whole lap behind what they're capable of doing. 125. That's a solid finishing time for the 1,000 meter.
Really picks it up when 3 guys are really going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're kind of, you know, splitting the workload, not necessarily intentionally, but, you know, as they're trying to work for the lead, they end up taking over the front to break the air friction for the skaters drafting behind them. Another look at Corey's outside pass.
You saw that one coming. You saw him setting it up.
Kind of a cool look. Corey skates. He's got the Australian flag on the right boot cover and the kangaroo on the left boot. The racing roo.
I'm waiting for that one because it's not just when their new kit comes out. I think it's going to be a big color change because I think it's going to go from that navy that they have now to the yellow and green that we know so well.
It'll go really well with his skates.
There you go. It's not a bad design. Anyway, there he goes. He gets the big Q, Nogradi, with a pretty quick heat time. And so that one may hold up depending on how the rest of them go. Heat 6, Park, Wolf, Ka, Jung, and Joachim.
To the start. Right.
Tobias Wolf slotting into second place there. Still just 19 years old. Doesn't turn 20 for another 6 days. And Ice Bears on the front. Noachon ahead of Park. Part of this nascent U.S. Eagles men's program. And Wolf on the inside.
Skaters really jockeying for position here.
That incident will be reviewed. All the while, Park out in front, staying out of trouble.
Park ahead of Ben Jung, who's had a busy morning already.
Park, 21-year-old. Still in front right now, and there is Jung in second place. A bit unfortunate in the 500 meters. Tried to make a move for the lead. Couldn't get it and cost him a lot of speed. At the moment, it is Park and Jung. Ka trying to take a look. Wolf also there, but it is Park who's looking like it's going to take it. It's a race for second. I think Jung hangs on ahead of Ka.
Really well-controlled skate by Wesley Park there. He did a terrific job getting to the front, positioning himself there partway through and just holding it. Solid track pattern, solid consistency and progressing the speed lap over lap. Strong race by Wesley Park. Well done.
Not one of the faster heats we've seen, but for Wesley Park, that really doesn't matter. I don't think he's in any risk of being investigated for anything. This is the incident here with Wolf and Noiron going shoulder to shoulder. Like it is Wolf who is getting looked at as a possibility in here.
Might have been a late pass or a failure to give way. See what the officials are reviewing.
There is Odo, Park in front. Very close for second. There is a review. We'll go down to the ice.
After a review, we gave a penalty to number 82 from Austria, and we advance skater number 107 for Belgium.
There you go. Penalized is Tobias Wolf and Wara Noiron moving on. 1:30.091 is Jung's time that he's watching. So now that's 2 advancements, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. 2 advancements thus far. No failure to give way by Wolf on the entry.
No. So now that limits those opportunities for the second place skaters. Going to make it a little bit more urgent. There's still plenty of second places available to move on, but 1 fewer now. And Heat 7, Shamukhanov, Collins, Wareham, Hammermuller, and Nico Underman.
Go to the start. Right.
Passe maintenant la 7e vague, une série de 11. En préliminaire, 1000 mètres.
24-year-old.
Shamukhanov.
Front.
Number 94 from the British Royals, Theo Collins from Australia.
Collins of the British Royals slotting into second place, lapping shy of 11 seconds at this stage.
So this is a little bit of a slower pace. This is one where you're going to want to make sure you secure the victory, because I don't quite think time will do it. Another 10-5 there.
So Wareham now picking things up a little bit. He's gotten tired of the slow start and really wants to ramp things up, see who can stick with him. Shamukhanov and Collins looking comfortable. Shamukhanov into the lead.
I like the quick reaction by Shamukhanov to take the lead right back.
And it is them 1-2. Wareham briefly on the front now, sitting into third. We'll see if he has the legs to try to get back to the front.
Let's watch Collins here, setting on the outside. Lap and a half to go. He's going to go the long way around. He's going to do it.
He's got some work still to go. Collins, now he makes it stick just after the bell. Now hanging on, Shamukhanov losing a bit of contact, and it will be Theo Collins with that late move, nicely moving on. And then we're up down to, you look at second, 1:29.99. So not the slowest we've seen.
Nope. Nice skate by Theo Collins there. Really well done. He was kind of continually positioning himself in around that second position every time he found himself out of it. And then with a lap and a half to go, find that speed, find the energy to build it out wide on the outside, make a nice clean pass.
Don't think anything is getting investigated. It was a clean race.
Shamakhanov's going to have to wait to see if that 129 holds up. He might be on the cusp there. Just looking at the other times that have gone through ahead of him. We have 2 advancements to account for as well.
There's Collins moving on. Shamukhanov will now wait. Yeah, 129.995 is it's borderline. Into heat number 8, Zdenek Saipal, Robin Bendig, Ivan Donchev, Ivan Martinic, and I believe our first look at a Serbian competitor, Miodrag Popovic, slotting into position number 5. Nice to see the different programs coming on. You're just hoping it's a genesis of something as they start to build for the future, because it's certainly more international than the sport has ever been. And it's Donchev on the front right now. He is still 18 years old. He's not 19 until December.
Keep an eye on Shaipal. He's been performing well last week, and I think he's got the ability here to potentially win this race.
Robin Bendig, 24-year-old from Dresden, was 46th in the World Cup classification last year in the 1500. 3 skaters going for the corner. Down to 4 to go. It's Bendig and it's Saipal. And Bendig takes a look, goes for the lead. Can he make it stick? There's a chance to come back on the inside. And good defending by Bendig.
Way to hold it, Bendig. Nice move.
And now he has Donchev bearing down on him. 1 to go. Bendig doing what he can to hang on. Donchev taking a look. Also not out of it is Saipal. And it is Bendig. Can he hang on? Oh. Yes, I think so.
Great finish there by those skaters.
Donchev putting it all out on the line there at the finish. All for naught. Came 3rd. I don't think anything is getting investigated there, but nice move by Bendig, and then had to skate defensively to hold them off. So Popovic coming out there. First time we've seen him, but he's been around. There's the photo, by the way. Bendig just ahead of Saipal, and just learning about some of these skaters. And Popovic, well, he's a unicorn in that a sense. He's from the 80s. Not many skaters from the 1980s. So he is, hold on, doing my math.
44.
44.
Competing in the 2007 World Championships.
That's just darn cool. How did we miss that one? Anyway, we didn't see him until he popped up on the line. So many skaters to keep track of. So many names and faces, and sometimes they slip through. 3 heats to go. This one down to 4 skaters in each heat, these last 3 heats. Furkan Akar, Matsubayashi Yui, Lu Jianshuo, and Lin Chun Che. Chinese Taipei. This one seems to be off to a brisk enough start.
Yeah, let's really watch for Lu Jianshuo and Furkan Akar in the finish here. 2 skaters with the top end speed.
Lou's certainly an animator. We see him not afraid to make moves. Here he is deciding to just lead things from the front right now.
You know, Matsubayashi can mix things up too, so we can have a pretty heated battle for the #1 position here. The times are moving along not too bad. We're seeing a 9:1 lap time.
Matsubayashi, nice move on the inside to get up into second. He really needed that to prevent Lou from skating away from things. Now the tempo's up, still Lou, a car, watch out for him. Matsubayashi there. Three pretty strong skaters. Nice move by Matsubayashi up the inside. The door's open.
Right back.
Lou gets it right back.
Matsubayashi goes again.
Together. Unafraid, Matsubayashi Yui. A car also there getting up into second.
Lou goes back on second. What a matchup here between skaters.
Oh, and that one went down hard. The blades weren't up.
I think they were kind of hip on hip when they're going in there. Lou went in first, and then the car just came right in, hip on hip into the mats.
So Matsubayashi takes it. Lin gets up for second, and these two skaters are, yeah, they're feeling this one.
That is not how we want to see these. I think we might have, you know, Lou might have gotten winded there in the corner, getting his breath back. Not how we want to see that race to end like that, but those punches were going back and forth between those skaters, corner after corner. That was a great final 3 laps outside of that fall. That's too bad to have that incident. The skaters are both up, they're both skating, they're looking okay. We're gonna get a replay of the race and we're gonna watch them going punch for punch here. What's happening is the skaters are making their inside pass, they're entering tight, they can't maintain that tight turn on the exit, so they're swinging back wide. The skater being passed is therefore able to hook them tight back because they've gone wide on the entry, tight on the exit, jumping right back in. And I think this is Matsubayashi kind of kicking things off. Lou going right back on him. You see Matsubayashi can't hold the exit of the turn. Lou, here we go in together. Yeah.
It's always worrying too because usually they're up pretty quickly. They were both down for a good moment there. There's the impact.
Just the hip on hip there. They got their feet clear, but I think, you know, just that when you're taking someone going that speed, having them collide right into you, the mats had already moved at that point.
So Matsubayashi making that move ultimately pays off, not only just to get that result, but just staying out of trouble there.
That was just great fun racing. That's what I like to watch.
Three guys going for it.
Yeah, all of them capable of winning that race. Just going blow for blow, corner after corner, looking for their opportunities. We'll await the official result here.
That might take a moment or two. Here it is. Lou on the inside, a car on the outside. And then there's the crunch. It's Lou going in first, and then not much that a car can do. And they, as Tyler noticed, they sort of go almost like bone to bone there, hip to hip.
Yeah, so Lou looks like he's a little bit ahead of a car there, shoulders ahead. He had, I believe, the advantage entering the corner. They're going to be taking a look at that.
Next heat.
And Lou being in second, if there is an incident, there is a possibility for an advancement.
Right.
We'll wait the official decision here.
They are still looking at it, and there is the room as you've seen it. We can always just sort of see what angle they're taking a look at too. And so they've moved on, so they're going to punch in those results, and I think we are going to get an announcement shortly. Of course, if there is no decision made, there's no announcement, and we just carry on. Two heats still to come, and then we break for lunch. Remember to keep an eye out for that link if you are watching on the ISU YouTube channel. They've already got it up and available if you wanted to join in there, have it ready once this racing is done. Get set up so you don't miss a moment. And an announcement is forthcoming. We send things down to ice level.
After a review, we gave a penalty for number 49 for Turkey, and we advanced number 19 for Hong Kong, China. Thank you.
There you have it, a car penalized Liu Zhenshuo gets advanced. You just hope that that knock that he took into the corner gets a little bit of recovery in. Lane change from outside to in. We will see a replay in a moment. Play. Side to in. And of course there's the incident. You can feel that one even just watching it.
I think it's like a Charlie horse probably for a car there on the leg, and then Lou just getting winded.
Yeah. Heat number 10, Quentin Vercoq. Tariq Omaragic is not going to be in there for this one either. And so it will be 3, Maxim Maximov and Su Junpeng. So it's back in the 1500 that Omaragic race, and we have not seen him since, obviously. Hoping for the best. Peter, the one representative from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Lin Chun-che with Quentin Vercoq. That's closer to his 500-meter specialty.
Well, these lap times pacing around mid-12s right now. Matt Fryer was, I believe, 14.
It feels slow.
This is not a quick pace. This is all about the win. It's going to take the win to go through here.
Maximov, another member of this young Bulgarian program. Still just 18 years old. Speaks a couple languages, always envious of that. When you're into multiples, he also speaks German in addition to English and Bulgarian. It's Vercoq on the front though, and then from Honfleur.
A little bit of a battle for positioning in second here. Maximov was making a move on the outside, trying to tuck in behind Vercoq. We will pay close attention here. Here he goes again.
Not going to make it stick that time either. Trying again, keeps looking for that inside, but some good defensive work. But while they're battling for second, Quentin Vercoq is disappearing off over the horizon.
Su Junpeng was putting up a good defensive track there, not letting Maximov get by, but Vercoq could just skate away.
Comfortable for him in the end, and then a reach at the line, 138.93, and no, I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that felt like one of the faster ones.
That will be quick enough. Based with the 3 advancements that we have already, down to the 6 fastest second place times.
One more heat still to come. You never know, that could be reduced even further. And yeah, that will not be fast enough for second place to move on. But in the end, while they were battling for second, Quentin Vercoq got to say, "See you later, I'm off. Good luck." Results will come up. There you see it. Omaragic unable to take the line, and just Vercoq moving on. One final heat to go of this morning qualifying session in Montreal. World Tour number 2. We have from the Ice Spiders, Radek Fajkus, Watanabe Keita of the Ninjas, Timofey Kokelko of the Wildcats, Kumurjev of the Kings, Lai Tsai Huan Chen of Chinese Taipei. Watanabe started at position 2, but slots into P1 for the moment. One seems a little bit more brisk, but I wouldn't call it a rapid start by any stretch of the imagination.
No, the pace is a little bit slower. They're bringing it down now.
Watanabe 32 years old. Matsubara. In front is the veteran Watanabe.
Watanabe trying to control this from the lead here. He's going to have to be very good with his track pattern, keep progressing the speed. See him down to 9-1s now, continually picking it up. 9-0, another progression. We'll be coming up to our bell lap very shortly here.
And only Kumurjev really the only one who can keep any contact whatsoever. And so Watanabe, and he lives in Matsubara, which if you're wondering is just outside of the Osaka area, or it's part of the Osaka area. Anyway, Watanabe looks like he's done enough to go through. Good effort from him. Kumurjev in second with a 129.56. That one
might just do it. He might just squeak in with that. Going back here, there's a 129.9 currently sitting in a qualifying position, so he might just squeak that one out from
and looking at two, there's Ben Jung is a 130.0 as well.
Yes,
so
you're right.
Potentially in a good position, but we'll await for them to just confirm everything.
So Ben Jung was in the hot seat. I think he may have lost that qualifying time there.
He was in a heat where there was an advancement as well. See, and Watanabe through, and the little Q next to Kumurjev's name. So 129.554 is enough for him to move on, and we will see more 1,000-meter action later on. But that will conclude the morning session. As you see, the qualifiers in the men's 1,000 meters. And we do get to have our lunch break now. And when things resume, 1,500-meter quarterfinals for men's and women's heats in both the men's and women's 1,000 meters, and then get set up for relay quarters, mixed women and men. So lots more still to come. Keep an eye out, as I said, for that link for the afternoon session of qualifying, because there's lots more still to come from Montreal ahead of what we can only assume will be another busy weekend of World Tour action. There you see the slate on the bottom letting you know when we are back. We get a bit of a break now for lunch. So until this afternoon, for when qualifying continues, on behalf of Tyler Dara and the entire crew here in Montreal and putting this all together, my name is Gavin Day. Goodbye. Talk to you soon.